It is Sunday, and that indeed means we are Higurashi something.
It indeed
I messed it up. It indeed means. I thought it said we are Higurashiing, but then I actually read it, and it did not actually was what I thought it was.
Okay,
and
wait.
And then it didn't work.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna do a thing. Ready? Happy Sunday, everybody! Hey, we're late! If you are in one of the countries where you just changed the clock, because Germany doesn't do that for another 3 weeks, how are you all doing?
If you are in a country that just changed the clock because Germany doesn't do that in another 3 weeks, how are you doing? That also doesn't really work.
So we're starting over a third time? Happy Sunday, everybody! Yes, off to an amazing start. See, now I finally do the thing where I press the button, we just pretend nothing happened so far, but it still fails. We higu, we ra, we shin.
Yeah, higu. That's what I was going to say.
Hello Yaya, hello Psycho, congrats on being second, hello Yugi, hello everybody, how are you all doing? Happy late International Women's Day, which was yesterday.
True.
We spent it going to the zoo and going for a long, nice walk. And my skin was wonderful after all that time in the sun. And then earlier, before the stream, I took a shower, and then all of that wonderful skin came off, and now I'm glowing because my skin is like extra today. But I will live. I will not let that get to me anymore. I have improved.
It would have been nice if Women's Day fell during
Women's Day. Why can you never say women? Tifa, here we go. Tifa is the most sexist person you will ever meet. Tifa says one woman, two women. And I don't know why. She refuses to say women. And if there's anything more toxic masculinity than that, I don't know what it is.
Well, one woman is enough, isn't it? I don't know why I can't say women. She says Women's Day because it's her day. She's the woman. Exactly. Exactly.
I low-key struggle with that word too.
I don't know what it is with women.
To be fair, kind of understandable, because when in English you spell the plural of woman, you change one letter towards the end of a word, but you pronounce it different at the beginning of a word. It makes no sense.
Womany. One woman, two womany.
Womany.
Yeah.
I think that's a place in Italy.
Womances? No.
Womances.
Yeah, one woman, two womances. Oh, I said I don't know what it is with women, by the way, but I don't know what it is with the word. Just FYI.
No. You are already way too deep. Trust me, I think it's fair after all of this time that everybody understands that you're joking, you're just bad at pronouncing words.
Yes, I agree with a lot of things, that things should be pronounced with how it's written. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Tifa's gonna get cancelled.
You're years too late. If that were to happen, it would have happened already. Like, we're not holding anything back. This is us, and this has been us for years, so good luck.
Imagine having two Tifas.
I do not want to.
I would get tired of myself at some point.
Fair. I was going through the infinite amounts of possible things I could say, and I found the one.
I don't know, I think two of me is too much. Like, sometimes I even am in my own way. It can get really annoying.
You're in your own way? What is it with the random S's you put into words today?
Being in your own way.
Yes, but you said owns.
Yeah, in my own way.
No, my own way.
S makes sense there.
This is gonna be a great day to play a visual novel where she reads 99% of the lines. Women should be pronounced differently. Yes, I mean, first of all, yes, they are, but it should be woman and woman. And then it would make sense. Then you would pronounce it the way you write it.
Whoa, man. Whoa, man. Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
You're making it weird.
It doesn't work.
To be fair, you did it from the beginning, so it's fine. I'm glad we don't speak French. Oui, oui. Je suis Jacques. C'est Tifa.
Baguette. Omelette.
Yeah.
Fromage.
That's about the extent of my French.
I'm good at reading French and understanding it, but that's kind of where it ends.
Same
Croissant.
actually. Croissant.
Yeah, true. Pain au chocolat. Can say that too.
Don't we have a... what is it? Is it this? Yes.
Oh, it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Croissant. Croissant.
I should learn French since my last name is French. I never met somebody with a last name French. Nice.
No, I think...
I know.
Oh.
Thank you for ruining my joke. Thanks, Tifa.
Well, you probably have some...
My weak attempt at humor made its first baby step towards the audience, and you went and hit it in the back.
Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, see? That's why I was
Psycho. It was a bad attempt. Psycho gets it, I hope. It's fine. It wasn't great. It's okay.
It's okay. He has a unique type of humor that nobody gets. It's okay.
It was funny in my head. Solid 6 out of 10. All right.
He was going for the literal.
Yeah.
Your last name is French.
So hello, Yugi French. I give it a question mark on a question mark. That's a full score. Nice.
Yeah, no, that is a fair one. Didn't fully hit.
I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that.
I never really liked French in school, but I hated German more, so I chose
So you moved
French.
to Germany a few years after.
Yeah, after that I regretted not picking German in high school. With us you could pick between languages. We had obviously Dutch and English, you had to take it, that was mandatory. But German, French, Spanish and Latin was optional.
Latin? I mean...
But you had to pick at least one of either German or French, and the rest was like, well, if you like to be in school more, you can. So it's like, I really do not want to learn German. So I picked French. In the end, I also did not really go out with a lot of French. The only thing that saved me...
What do you mean you didn't go out with a lot of French?
Well, I didn't really learn a lot of
French. We learn about your dating history.
Which was more on me. I have never dated a French guy.
A French? Just a French.
The thought got stuck. I regret not picking German in school too. Yeah.
A French. I mean, it does make sense because you would say an American, a German. Why don't you say a French? See, again, checkmate English language, checkmate.
Now that you say it like that, you have a point.
Yeah.
The word Frenchman was stuck.
Clearly the point you were trying to make, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said it and that realization hit me. And that's why I got stuck. Yeah.
I learned English because I bought an untranslated JRPG and I sure as hell wouldn't let my pocket money go to waste. I think it was a PS2 Star Ocean game. That would have been Star Ocean 3 till the end of time. The one Star Ocean game I actively dislike. Because of the story. I'm that kind of person. I had to take French as well because I wanted to get my high school diploma to be able to study later on, which I never did. And with my school it was the same. You had to speak 3 languages, so you had to either take Spanish or French for at least 5 years in order to be able to get to that level. So I had 5.5 years of French classes, and I don't remember much of them. Because I hated them, because my teacher sucked and the class sucked.
I think the majority of people go out of their language lessons in high school like that. But there are some people, like take my father for instance. He speaks 8 languages, fluent, basically on a native level.
Which is disgusting. Like as a person speaking with him in a language you understand because it's the language you understand, because you don't know the language, because you don't speak the language he speaks, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
Thank you for bowing to my level, sir.
It's really annoying, actually, because 6 of them he actually learned fluently at school. And then after practicing and going on vacation to those countries, he got to speak it on more of a native level.
Can't even speak English properly.
But who comes out of high school on a fluent level of the language they take? And why do I not have that language skill?
I did, but only with English.
Yeah, but English wasn't from school.
My English started with school, then I realized video games are in English, and then video games taught me English. And then I realized, wait, movies and shows that are made in the UK and in the USA actually sound way better if I listen to them or if I watch them in the native language. So I started doing that.
Yeah, fair.
So my English was taught, my earliest English memories of learning English was Shenmue, Grandia 2, a JRPG, then I want to say Skies of Arcadia, again JRPG, The Angry Video Game Nerd, I listened to that back and forth back then, and Scrubs, the show, Scrubs.
Alright, fair.
I inhaled all of these. Grandia, Pog, never played the first one, only the second one, and the third one for a little bit actually.
It's an alt start.
Sticking your landings on the mental gymnastics today. Thank you. We will need more of that because I don't think our brains are gonna brain any harder today.
It's an effort today.
Opinion on Duolingo. Never used the app, so I couldn't tell you that. The marketing team is genius.
I've used it for like a solid week, I think.
So you are part of the reason why the bird died?
Basically.
Okay.
But that was like years ago. And then the 10 minutes a day was so much effort that I just left it.
Tifa, do you play any mobile games where you have dailies, where you spend 15 to 30 minutes every day just going through dailies?
Yeah, I know, but they just...
So you don't have the 10 minutes to improve your languages?
Yeah, I know.
You are disgusting.
I'm just lazy.
I say that, but I completely understand that. It makes all the difference whether it's something you try to force yourself to learn versus something you actually enjoy. That makes all the difference.
I believe Duolingo is good to make a start, but from what I've heard, you should not use it for the Asian languages. Apparently it's pretty bad for that.
Oh, my nose is super itchy.
But when you're more talking about like French, Spanish, German, I'm sure it's fine.
Couldn't tell you. I listened to zero punctuation without subtitles, had to learn the hard way. Fair, Yahtzee, wasn't he also speaking relatively fast most of the time? I want to say so. It's been ages since I watched anything from that guy.
Just been thrown in the water. The one thing I still remember from learning English is in grade school. There was this, that's when it was like super new. We had like laptops, like these super big ones.
Portable computers in our lifetimes?
That was like life-changing. But they were only allowed out during English lessons. And that's because it was like based on song exercises.
Song exercises?
Yeah.
What?
And there was this one song that was trying to teach us the alphabet. Even though the majority of us already knew it at that point.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M,
No, they were like...
I already forgot.
Interactive songs. And it's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G... Hi, I'm Tom, and this is Lee. Stuff like that.
Okay, carry on.
I don't remember the rest of the song.
This was your moment. This was your high school musical moment.
The moment I hear it, I think I can sing along the entire thing. But that bit of the song, Hi, I'm Tom, and this is Lee, is stuck forever. It's been, like, what, 20 years now, and I still hear it. Still living rent-free in the back of my mind.
I remember teabag tag. I hear it, you don't, I get annoyed. Thanks for not fighting me this time on this, Tifa. I distinctively remember Magic English, Magic English, I forgot the lyrics, but there was this Disney product, Magic English with Disney, that my grandparents bought me a subscription to. and every couple of weeks they would send to you like a little magazine in English with like English homework tasks kind of stuff, and a VHS cassette tape. VHS. If you're at an age range where you don't know what that is, Google it. And I would listen to that and I would play it every single time.
I regret not spending as much time into languages when I was younger and just like brushing over it. Would have been so handy now.
It doesn't mean you would have actually learned them. I've been trying to learn Japanese since I was like 14 and I've never managed to.
Yeah, but you probably also didn't actively... Like just watching anime doesn't cut it. Gives a good understanding.
That was before I even watched anime.
But like, see, that's also a very hard language to seriously learn, but okay.
I'm dyslexic when it comes to any language that uses... I don't know what the right term is. Lettering like China, Japan, Korea, you know, these
kanji.
Icons, kanji, all of that stuff. What do you call Japanese writing?
Been using Duolingo trying to learn German. Good.
No, very good. Guten Tag.
How do you like Duolingo so far? I mean, you're the one that's actually using it.
This is your moment. Guten Abend.
The most annoying thing about German is just
the cases.
The cases, the whole der, die,
the der, die, das. In English, you use the, and in German. This is German culture. Thank you for reminding me, Psycho. I should have started with this. The one thing, if you ever want to pretend you are German, if you need to, for some reason, act like a German in an internet comment section, you need to remember this line that Psycho gracefully put there in all caps. Sprich Deutsch, du Hurensohn. Preferably, if you ever say it, you have to say it with that type of energy too. It needs to be a mix of being annoyed and angry. Literally translated means, speak German, you son of a whore. For some reason, that has entered the German zeitgeist. And that's the thing German internet people say when somebody dares to speak English or anything other than German in their presence.
Internet people? I think I've heard that plenty. IRL as well.
I never have actually.
Because you speak German.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Imagine.
Internet people. I wanted to say netizens, but then I realized that is such an outdated term that nobody would know what I mean. So people on the internet.
Yeah, especially when I just moved to Germany, you hear that quite a bit.
Wait, people legitimately told you that when you were struggling to learn German? And you fumbled and you said something in Dutch or English?
I've heard we're in Germany, speak German quite often.
But that's something completely different. People telling you, this is Germany, speak German. Those are assholes. Sprich Deutsch, du Hurensohn is a meme. That's completely different.
Yeah, fair
The
enough.
intention behind it is also very different.
Fair enough. By the time that became a meme, I already spoke German.
When?
Excuse me. Wow, rude.
Tifa's German is good, don't worry, I'm just making fun of her. Czech is a similar thing like Daddy does. Why? If there's one thing I could change about German, it's things like that. Because the is just fine. You don't need der, die, das. You don't need a male, female and neutral version of the. Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, we have tree in Dutch as well. De, het and een.
Oh, by the way, yeah, let's speak about this for a second.
But they don't change like they do in German. No. That's the whole fucking point.
Here's the thing. Here we go. So, because I have a Dutch fiance, I've been trying to learn Dutch ever since I met her, because that just seems like the right thing to do to me.
I just thought I'm really good at it.
Thank you. And in the beginning, when I was trying to learn like basic grammar and vocabulary and stuff, Tifa explained to me that, haha, German is such a stupid language. You have der, die, das, which is the in male, der, female, die, and neutral, das. Everything in German is gendered. If you know the gender of an item, like a desk, Tisch is male, so der Tisch, you just need to know the gender of an item. It makes no sense if you think about it, but just accept that that's how it is. And then I tried to learn Dutch. And when Tifa came with, we have het, de, and en. And all of these literally mean the same thing. It's the. And it's not even male, female, neutral, because that would make sense, right? No, it's just neutral, neutral, and neutral. And
I don't think I said that because I don't even know.
And do you know how you figure out whether to use de, het, or in when you refer to an object?
There are rules to it. I just don't remember them.
Guess. Are you guessing? You're wrong. There is no reason when to use which one. You just have to know.
No,
there isn't.
No.
You
Wait,
are
let me
lying
Google
to
that.
the internet right now.
Just because I cannot tell you. Why do you even come to me for grammar advice?
Because you've been speaking Dutch for 30... How long now? 33 years.
Wanneer gebruik je de, het of een?
Here we go. Yes?
Here, de een is neutral. Oh no, wait.
Oh wait, no. Why is coffee there? Because
neutral
coffee
words.
is male in German. I don't know why. I cannot explain to you. I don't think there is a reason. It's just somebody looked at a word and then went like, it's female. Funnily enough, in French, for example, the moon is female. La lune, I think. And in German, the moon is male. Der Mond. It makes no sense. You just have to know. You just have to learn it. Have you found it yet?
Yeah, for neutral words, you use het or een, and male or female
you use that or that.
words.
Yeah, exactly. It makes no sense.
We're not in language class right now.
Just do it like this.
Just use Duolingo.
Anyway, the Dutch language is a joke, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Yeah, but still, German is more difficult.
Yeah, but German makes sense. German has rules.
The Dutch do too, I just don't know them.
And you couldn't even Google them.
Because I'm not going into the details now. Nobody cares about Dutch grammar rules.
I do. Everybody up for a Dutch grammar stream? No? Just me? Let's check rules of the der, die, das. I get it right about 50% of the time. I think Tifa does the same.
Yeah, I often... And that I will probably keep doing until I die, just guess what is what.
Dueling has some weird sentences. Back in the first sentence I got, du bist eine Maus. But you can say that.
No, that's not a...
I don't know when you would use you are a mouse, but...
That's like a...
In theater.
I was gonna say like a nickname.
Unlikely.
Like when people go grosser or alter or dikker.
When have you ever called somebody mouse as an endearing term?
I'm just saying you can. When do I ever call anyone an endearing term? I even don't give you an endearing term.
That's not true. You call me Han all the time. You don't? Am I... Wait, which one of my girlfriends does that? Oopsie!
When have I ever called you Han?
A lot.
That is such a weird word. Like it's not, it's just hun.
I call you that all the time. Are you now telling me live on stream that you don't like it?
I mean, you can say it, but it's like...
Happy relationship stream. I guess. Is that a popular thing to say? No. I've never
really,
met
no.
another person and like, du bist eine Maus. You are a mouse. No.
But I'm just saying you could say it.
So why do you have a capital first letter of words everywhere? Because we don't. Substantive, name words are capitalized. There you go. That's how.
That's a lot, by the way.
Yes.
And it's so annoying. It's like you're back in the 90s where every other word you start with a capital letter. Like if you... How I do it, or how I started doing it, and that's how I completely...
Tifa just does it randomly.
I
and
just
it's
took
wrong.
a sentence, I wrote it, and then I just look at it, and I'm like, okay, this word seems important. I'll make it put a capital in front of that. And this word also seems kind of important, so I'll capitalize that as well. That's basically how I started off with my German.
I remember that, and it was really funny. It sounded a lot like a 14-year-old typing in like upper lowercase all the time. It's like,
Yeah, because that's exactly what it feels like.
just learn the rules, man. It's skill issues. It's all skill issues.
But yeah, don't take German advice from me.
Yes.
I didn't start off very well and I kept bad habits too.
We capitalize names and places, for example, yes. Also, du bist echt eine süße Maus might be a floating line. Yes, you could say that.
Oh yeah, see?
If the other
It works.
person likes being called a mouse.
I mean, it's a risk with everything you say.
Mice are kind of cute though.
That's true. They're adorable.
Wait, let me give you an endearing new nickname.
Rat. I like rats.
Tifa, du bist ein echt niedliches Wombat.
Yeah.
You're a really cute wombat. Tifa also gets up out of bed sometimes like a wombat.
I'm wombat shape.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
I aspire to be a capybara.
In Russian, checking how good Duo is at other languages, it was giving me you have 4 seconds. I have 10-second sentences all the time for some reason.
Yeah, that does feel like a threat. Okay, don't know what kind of language exercises those were, but...
Well, it works for the basics. In the end, Duolingo is just to get an understanding of sentence structure, of words. And I think for that it helps, even though some might be a little bit random.
Check a surprisingly okay-ish on Duolingo. Navajo has a bad voice and grammar learning. I never heard of that even.
I tried to understand Czech once.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't understand.
I use Google Translate. But you know who now has 4 seconds to give us her bad voice and grammar? Thank you for that segue. Tifa, what has happened the last time we played Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 5, Meakashi, also known as Higurashi When They Cry Kai?
The last time we played Higurashi, it was right after the Watanagashi festival.
Higurashi time, let's go!
Yeah! Yugi was here like, oh, stop fucking
Stop talking about life things nobody cares.
Oh, it's time for Higurashi. The last time we played, it was right after the Watanagashi festival. We decided to somehow join the Sonozakis for the after party drinking.
Who is a we?
Shion. We joined Mion and the Sonozakis at the after party at their house, drinking a bit until 11 p.m. because that's when our grandma would like to go to bed and call it a night.
Yeah, and then everybody has to leave.
And everyone starts cleaning up at that time and goes to sleep. We were like super tired, a bit drunkish, so we were like, hey.
Shion was hammered. Shion was slurring her words and about to pass out.
So she was like, hey, Mion, let me stay here.
And then Mion, the voice of reason, is like, no. You know you're not welcome here. Grandmother wouldn't like that. You need help.
I've been doing just fine. I'm 2 lines in and I'm still on track.
2 lines?
2 lines.
You need help, Tifa.
So Mion comes in and decides to let us stay. During the night, we wake up and notice that Mion, whose room we share, is not actually laying on the futon behind us.
The chair agrees. Shion even does the detective move where she turns over and checks the futon of Mion for body heat, but it's cold. So she deduces that Mion must have gotten up way before this.
So we get up, go into the hallway, and that's when we hear Mion and our grandma talk about... How did it actually start?
The death of Tomitake and Takano. Nothing in specific, but Oreo says something to the effect of, well, the young ones had it coming. They've messed up quite badly. And then Mion is like, yes, I agree.
So obviously we start panicking because that means if they died, it was probably because they have entered the shrine, then we're also up for it. And while we're basically having this crisis, a phone starts ringing in the hallway and Mion enters the room.
Shion freaks out, stumbles backwards, trying to get away because somebody's gonna pick up the phone call, right? Also, it keeps ringing. It keeps ringing incessantly, so somebody will have to go check on the call. But that doesn't happen, and when Shion tries to get away, suddenly Mion goes...
It was Ranger.
Probably. Hello Ranger, happy Sunday, how are you doing?
How you doing? So yeah, Mion takes us in a chokehold basically after we've been caught, and...
No, she grabs us by the collar and pushes us up against the wall.
Also good.
There was even art for it.
Yeah, that is true.
That's what I remember.
I'm not even sure what the talk was about. About how much we have heard.
Mion asked whether we overheard, and then she was like, what? Overheard? Me? What would I overheard? And Mion's like, the conversation, Tomitaka and Takano are dead. And then they have a moment where she keeps holding on to her collar and like threatening. But they don't really talk about anything in particular because Shion doesn't give up anything until suddenly...
Mion picks up the phone.
Yes, she does. Okay, and then?
She picks up the phone, short conversation, we don't really know what is going on from it.
Make sure nobody finds out.
And that's basically it.
When she comes back.
Then Shion Penno, we were dragged along by her hair. Then Shion basically goes like, aha! I have this highly illegal taste gun that Kasai-san
that doesn't happen
got
at
for
all.
us.
So while Mion and Shion are talking, suddenly Mion falls down to the ground and collapses because Shion, without us ever getting an inkling of that happening, suddenly equipped her handy stun gun that Kasai bought her, which by the way has been illegally modified.
It doesn't matter.
Thunderbolt.
So it doesn't matter if we had an inkling
so
or
she
not.
tases
For the
the
recap,
fuck
we had it.
out of Mion, knocking her out, and now the killer instinct in Shion has awakened because now she goes, well, Mion is down. Now it's too late not to do anything about this anymore, so the hag is next. So she sneaks back to the room where Empress Sonozaki, Oreo,
who magically did not hear or notice anything apparently, which I still don't think is possible.
Accepted.
But regardless, we use Thundershock on Grandma
Thunderbolt!
as well.
Thundershock is the weaker version. Thunderbolt does like 90 or 95 base damage.
Fine. Thunderbolt. We used Thunderbolt on Grandma, also knocked out cold, and we dragged the both of them to the torture chamber.
Shion carries both of them. She even found a flashlight that she attached to her shoulder because it has a strap. She is carrying both of them.
Not for the entire way. She even said she had like a wheelbarrow thing that she threw them on.
She carried both of them.
According to you, she didn't, by the way, though.
Shion then brings them into... Shion brings them to the torture dungeon, puts Mion into the cage, puts her grandmother upstairs, wherever the actual torture room is, into a wheelchair specifically designed to strap people into the wheelchair, goes back to Mion and starts interrogating her and intimidating her, kicking against the bars of the cell that she's in and stuff. Because Shion is now completely gone, has all of these questions. What happened to Satoshi? What actually happens during Watanagashi? Who is to blame for all of this? Who did this? Who did that?
Why were they chosen? We don't really learn a lot because according to Mion, who has started the talk, she is kind of left out of all of that. And her grandmother doesn't really share that with her, which Shion believes because Mion is too kind according to her and Grandma.
But we do learn through a weird talking at each other kind of moment that Mion, and therefore presumably Oreo, didn't know about people going into the ritual storehouse. Mion knows it was 4 people, but she doesn't know that they got into the storehouse. because Shion tells her and Mion seems shocked by that information.
Still a bit confusing, but still. So while we wait for Grandma to wake up, we go back to her and try to get her to get up by
hitting her and stuff. But the stupid bitch, even after yelling at her, she doesn't show any reaction. So Shion does the thing that everybody would do when you think somebody is passed out. She grabs a lighter and sets her grandmother's nose on fire. And nothing happens other than there being a horrible stench, and she doesn't even flinch.
She didn't set her nose on fire, it just got close enough that her nose
right
burned.
Under her nose.
Her nose hair burned, not her nose itself. She also held it in front of her eyes. She didn't respond. Long story short, she dead.
Yeah, apparently she must have died from the taser. Oh well.
We weren't too happy with that because it was kind of an easy death, so we decided to still whip her up a bit.
No, she didn't decide anything. Shion, this is important, Tifa. Shion got so mad that she couldn't do what she wanted to do, that she looked around the torture room, found a whip, set up with, like, the tip of a whip has like fishing hooks in them, like multiple.
Fishing hooks, it's a spiky whip.
Like fish hooks. And she starts whipping at the semi-singed corpse of her grandmother, partially ripping her to pieces. And when she gets bored of that, or rather annoyed because her hair and stuff is flying around and she gets some on her, so she washes her hands because ew, then she goes back down to Mion.
Asks Mion where the well is that she has heard of since her childhood, where they dump all of the bodies. Mion tells her, and we decide to ditch Grandma in the well.
Mion is freaking out about Oreo having died, and she was like, what? Chill, like, it just happened. I didn't mean to, I mean, I probably would have, but, you know, whatever, just relax. It happens.
One thing we do believe is that seeing how Tomitake and Tingy, I forgot the name, Takano has died, is that they were the victims of Oyashiro-sama's curse now, and that means also two people should be demoned away, which will probably be her and Keiichi.
So to that end, Shion decides on the spot, I'm gonna go to school as Mion. I'm gonna pose as Mion from now on. I'm gonna go to school and I will check on Keiichi. Because if he is safe, I should be safe.
We also believe that they indeed kill Satoshi-kun, so she wants the person to actually go after Keiichi so that she can have her revenge on him as well.
Yeah, it's a hunter being hunted, the victim becoming the predator, the prey becoming the predator kind of situation where she realizes, wait, somebody is doing these things. If the Sonozakis, if Oreo, if Mion decides somebody dies, then there has to be somebody executing these orders. Somebody has to be doing this. She has the mind of a master. You could almost call her a mastermind at this point. Ish. She's getting there.
And that's where we saved.
Yeah, then the chapter was over. And then we read 2 tips, parts of Shion's notebook.
Nothing new, really.
Nothing new. She just is angry about Oreo dying too quickly and stuff.
Oh, that recap took very long.
Yeah, because you battered her.
You added too much.
Yeah, we had like one of the most important scenes, I want to say, of the entire chapter. I'm sorry that I bored you with details in a visual novel.
It was a really good chapter though, fair swear. It was a really good one. You ready for the next one?
No, because I don't know what's gonna come next. I'm not looking forward to this. I mean, I am, but I'm not. You know what I mean. Tifa, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Click.
Let's bring it.
Oh, I didn't even start with it.
Locked in.
Let's do this.
The last page. Oh, that one.
The last page.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
The first one, the last one.
Tifa's angrily pointing at the screen. You mean...
It's like when you're training someone and you're telling them where to press and they click all over.
Delete, right?
Yes, exactly.
You mean the last item on the first page?
That's what I said.
Maybe, Tifa, the people you train would do better if you actually used the right words. continue. Welcome to chapter 11 of chapter 5. Oh. Tifa forgot something during the recap. One of the last things that happened in the torture room is that Shion has the sudden realization that somebody is watching her. And she turns around after whipping her grandmother to shreds. She turns around and then she sees it.
No, she doesn't see it. She
sees it.
She doesn't see
anything. She sees, she feels, she perceives the presence over
feels,
there.
But not
watching her from the chair over there. And it is Oyashiro-sama.
There is a difference in seeing and feeling. And she feels a presence. No. This is where the details matter, and you know it. Actually seeing it would change everything.
Potato, I say in this moment.
Nah, that is not potato.
Also, we are in agreement. Kasai is the person carrying out the executions for Watanagashis.
At least the one who killed Satoshi.
Same thing.
I was having such a happy dream. Satoshi-kun was in the dream. He was leading his normal everyday life. For a team to adopt me to circumvent immigration?
Ranger, I would love to, but I think that's gonna raise some questions when I want to adopt somebody who is just a few years younger than me.
No, I'm sure it's fine. That could work.
I doubt I can explain to the people at the immigration department that I had a kid when I was 6.
Yeah, but Ranger is 13, by the way. Send me the papers, Ranger. We'll figure it out.
Wait, that's an option? I don't know.
It probably is.
We were having a nice dream, though, Tifa.
He was back on the baseball team. Irie and I acted normally around him because we knew that's how mature people should act. We welcomed him back, as if he had been here with us the whole time. Although he hits well in practice sessions, he still doesn't do well in the real game. Come on, Satoshi-kun! 3 strikes already? I'm cheering for you! Then Satoshi-kun pouted as he mumbled. Can you move the mouse a little bit, please? Thank you. I was gonna say just move it to the side.
Like the queen from Alice in Wonderland. Thank you. Dismissed.
That was a move it to the side motion.
I'm so happy to be in your service. Now stop coming closer to me.
Stop moving me.
No, I need to sit somewhere too.
What a day. I felt tears pouring down my face. Satoshi-kun. Satoshi-kun. The happy dream faded out with my sobs. The harder I tried to focus on it, the faster it faded. Soon it was all gone. I could see the bright morning sun through a crack in the curtains.
I think this is kind of important. I've never killed somebody. Hope I never have to. But I've seen enough movies and stuff where they discuss what usually happens after somebody killed somebody for the first time. Like the psychological effect that has on you. And it's not that. It's not, oh yeah, and then I went to bed and I had a dream of my vanished boyfriend.
Yeah, but usually you go through what a average person, how they would react. Shion is not that average.
That's exactly what I want to point out. Shion is, I want to say, way past the point of no return.
Psychological effect is usually vomit for most people. Yeah, not for Shion. Shion is just like, where?
It was a Tuesday. That's like...
Why can I put this out of the way?
So accidentally killed my grandma when I dumped her into a well, and now I'm sleeping. Dostoevsky would be very confused at you. Yes.
And to be fair, the stream is pretty emotionally distressing for her, so she's kind of distressed in her own way. You echoed a very good point, actually.
100% true, but my point still stands. Completely different from the average person. Like, there is stuff giving her emotional turmoil. I get that. But the fact that she just put another living being into a cage in a torture dungeon, killed her grandmother and dumped her down a well. Then again, she grew up with these monsters. So,
I mean, that is true.
It's all a bit different for her, I would say.
Yeah, even though the dream started off extremely happy, which could also be a sign that she's glad she did it, like some sort of revenge that has been... Because that's kind of what she's out for right now, revenge.
Are we now dream interpreters?
Yes. Ranger, all the love back. Say hi to Kelly and the kids.
Please
enjoy your lunch. Yeah, but that can give this sense of calmness as well. Like you're one step closer to the complete revenge of the death of Satoshi.
I guess.
And then it's sad because he's no longer there in the end.
We will learn.
I could see the bright morning sun through a crack in the curtains. I was in Mion's room at the Sonozaki house. When did I come back? I was crouching in the corner of the room and crying. A dream is a dream. I wished I hadn't woken up. But one must wake up from a dream. We live in a world where there are no dreams, and that's why we always wake up. But I wasn't sure if I was the only one dreaming that dream. Because I felt like Satoshi-kun was right beside me. Satoshi-kun? Did you come back? There was no reply. That was the rule. If it was Satoshi-kun, I wish I'd smile at me just once.
No.
I wish he'd smile at me just once. What? But Satoshi-kun's presence faded away, as if he were never there to begin with. I heard the phone ring by the front door. Ah, that's right. I was the only one in the house now. I had to answer it. I got up to walk to the front door. I felt unsteady, so I put my hands on the wall to support myself. I hardly got any sleep. It was like I had a bad cold.
That's why Mion... That's why in chapter 2, the next day, Mion didn't go to school. That's why the day after, she was like, yeah, I must have caught something, I don't recall, I've been sleeping badly and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, this bit is kind of matching. So I definitely interpret her dream in a similar way. The memory of Satoshi is a way for her to cope with what she's doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that sums it up, basically.
That does make sense.
The phone continued to ring. I probably didn't have to answer it, actually. But I was still half asleep and all I could think of was answering the phone. Hello, Sonozaki residence.
Is that the mayor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Sorry to call you so early. It's Kimiyoshi. Is your grandma still sleeping?
It was Uncle Kimiyoshi. She is, yes. I guess she's still tired from yesterday. I think I'll let her sleep in.
Yeah, you probably should. Mion-chan, you're going to school, right? Can I leave a message with you?
Sure. What is it?
Let's see. There will be an emergency meeting regarding the incident from yesterday. It'll be at the Shrine's Assembly Hall starting at 5 p.m. Did you get that? Wait.
Who went missing after that? Was it the mayor? There was a meeting at 5 p.m. where someone went to... I don't remember which chapter it was.
No, that was chapter 3.
That was chapter 3.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it could still happen.
So it was the mayor arrived there, and I believe was not seen again.
Oh, do you think Shion is now systematically gonna eliminate people that she thinks could be Mr. X, the executor?
I think when she believes someone has something to do with that, yes.
So why does she... How is she gonna jump to the conclusion that Reina and Rika are the murderers? Because they were also found dead in chapter 2.
That is true, they were in the well, but it could be that they just tried to stop him. Shion just snapped.
They were picking flowers and fell.
She also stabbed us. What did Keiichi have to do with it?
He's cute.
But I think the mayor is definitely Shion then too. Yes. I'll give her the message. As soon as I put the phone down, it rang again. Hello, Sonosaki residence.
Good morning. Sorry to call you so early. Mrs. Kasai. Is this Mion-san? Good morning.
Kasai-san. Good morning.
Is Shion-san still there?
I wasn't panicked, but I hesitated. I could tell him no. Or I could play both Mion and Shion. Shion was washing her face just now. I'll get her for you. I decided to play 2 parts. Oh, so handy if you have the same voice.
Yeah, how easy that must be as an identical twin.
Hi, no, it's me. Yeah.
Moshi Moshi.
I went back and forth down the hallway and picked up the phone again.
I was joking when I made that sound, but...
Kasai? Morning.
Good morning, Shion-san. Are you going to school today?
Of course not. I feel miserable.
I kind of expected that. By the way, how are you getting back to Okinomiya? I can have someone come pick you up.
I think I can get a ride from Uncle Komiyoshi.
Okay, no. Start over.
I was going to. Why are you already in defense mode?
Because I have listened to you before. Uncle Kiki Mimimio.
I think I can get a ride from Uncle Kimiyoshi or somebody else. Don't worry, I'll figure something out.
You sound awfully chipper for somebody who feels bad. Your father told me to make sure you go to school often enough. I appreciate your cooperation.
I'll go when I feel like it. By the way, Kasai, did you hear?
What about?
You know, the incident from last night?
Yes, I have. How truly horrifying.
All the past victims were war criminals from the dam conflict, right? But it's different this year. What do you think about that?
I don't really know.
Kasai wasn't the type to talk too much. If it was about something complicated, he usually responded like that. Do you know why those 2 fell under the curse of Oyashiro-sama?
No.
I heard this last night. Supposedly, they snuck into the ritual storehouse during the festival. They used a metal wire or something to unlock the door. Kasai went silent for a while. I held my breath while waiting to see how he responded. I expected him to say that he couldn't believe those people were chosen as victims just for sneaking into a storehouse. I expected him to say that it was just too unrealistic.
I see. That was stupid of him.
Since Tomitake-san was an outsider, I bet he didn't know. I went along with Kasai, but I felt disturbed on the inside. Kasai didn't wonder why breaking into the ritual storehouse would justify their deaths. I'd known Kasai for a long time, which is why I knew there was a heavy meaning to what he said. By the way, Kasai, actually, I did it too.
Oh, why would you say that? Oh yeah, because she wants to murderize people. Did you go in?
Yeah.
You went into the ritual storehouse, Shion-san?
Yeah. Takano-san invited me. Takano-san, Tomitake-san, and... Remember Keiichi who just moved here recently? Him and me to make 4 of us. Well, it could be smart of her to say, because then she gets the... One, she knows how he reacts, and if they didn't know yet, this might spread the info that Keiichi was also involved, meaning they will go after Keiichi, which is her plan in the end.
But funnily enough, nobody ever went after Keiichi.
No, but she wants them to now go after Keiichi.
Yes, but Yes.
And you don't know yet if they have started already.
Yes. But in chapter 2, as far as I remember, nobody ever went after Keiichi.
Well, you don't know what happened behind the scene.
True.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
That's hopefully what we learn now. Just had the Angela Merkel and Duolingo.
Congratulations.
I heard Kasai sighing heavily. Even though he didn't say a word, I could tell he was shocked. I'd never known him to act this way before.
Shion-san, don't you remember what happened last year? How do you think you can take care of this?
Last year it was 3 nils. So maybe 5 this year? Sorry. I wasn't trying to make light of the situation. I knew I shouldn't have done it. I regret it at least a little. But is it really that terrible a thing to do?
You are related to the Sonozaki main family. Do you really think people would understand?
But I've been living in Okonomiya all my life. Since the old woman hated me, I've barely been to Hinamizawa. Besides, I was stuck at school. How would I know about any of that? I heard another sigh from Kasai. That sigh told me my excuses would be useless.
Shion-san, I am your ally. I want to support you as much as I can. But there are dangers even I can't protect you from. Besides,
Sorry. Sis is here, I've got to go. See ya. Click. I interrupted Kasai and hung up. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear Kasai reject me. He who had been my ally all my life. Shit. It. I could hear the sound of the cicadas. The sound made it feel like I was being cooked on a huge frying pan making a sizzling noise. No, that's just the cicadas peeing.
Cicadas don't pee, they piss. Remember, there's force behind that.
That's what I mean.
They don't just tinkle. Look it up. Or don't, preferably, but...
I couldn't help feeling remorseful. Now I knew that sneaking into the ritual storehouse wasn't a laughing matter. But I really didn't know it at the time. Sure, the door was locked, so they didn't want anyone to go in. Then why did they change the lock? What did they say? I think it was that Rika-chama said that the previous lock was too heavy for her, so she had it changed to that cheap one. That was how Takana-san broke in. If the heavy lock was still there, this wouldn't have happened. I slapped my own forehead. Oh, by the way, if Rika and Reina are in the well, it doesn't really matter because she's not friends with them anyway. They probably came to look for me on... And she stabbed them in the process or something. It doesn't need to be...
Rika and Satoko. Wasn't it Rika and Reina?
No. Rika and Satoko, you're right, because Reina was the survivor and the chapter ended with this talk with Keiichi and Reina, where Keiichi was moving away and Reina was like, oh, you're gonna leave me all alone?
I don't recall that.
I think. Was that in chapter 2?
Reina did not die. Okay. I mean,
yeah, no.
I'll take your word for it.
We had this whole weird talk with Reina then, how we'd have our friends close to our hearts and how we should feel, what was it, anger, destruction, hate, something to keep their memory alive. I remember a weird talk with Reina about that, just not the details of the talk. No, you're right, thank you.
Thank you.
Then I took a deep breath. I had to calm down. What was the point of fussing now? I'd already passed the point of no return. There was no use thinking otherwise. The hag was already dead. Even if she wasn't, she was now at the bottom of the well. Therefore, it was already past the point where I could just cut my fingers off in apology. I felt so unstable. I'd walked on the fence around the swings at the park before as if I was walking on a tight rope. It was fun because even if I fell, it was only a very short distance. But it wouldn't have been fun if I were up really high. At that very moment, I was in fact already on a tightrope that was a lot higher than the fence at the park. As soon as I took a step, the rope behind me would vanish. I couldn't step back because there was nothing behind me. That was, in short, the current situation I found myself in. Just standing in one spot was all I could do. Even if I never took another step, I'd fall if I wasn't careful. If I forced myself to walk, the danger would only increase. But if I didn't move, I would fall eventually. I couldn't see what was ahead of me. There was no guarantee that I'd ever find firm ground. But if I stopped, there was only one fate waiting for me. I have to move forward. If staying here guaranteed death, then I'd rather try to walk even if I die as a result. Even if there was a dead end ahead of me, at least I tried my hardest. In general, I tried to be optimistic. I could accept my life not lasting particularly long. But I wouldn't go easily. I'd struggle as much as possible. I'd already killed the hag. For that, there could be no other punishment than death. I knew my life would end soon. In other words, I was actually already dead.
A JoJo reference in my visual novel. Omae wa mo shinderu. Or something like that.
A dead person has nothing to lose. That means I can only go on the offensive. I clenched my fist tightly as I muttered. Even if I had to die, I couldn't die easily. This was my chance to avenge Satoshi-kun.
It was Fist of a North Star, not JoJo. Ah, damn it. Fist of a North Star reference in my visual novel is what I meant to say.
Nice try. Who did it? For what purpose and why? I was going to investigate. I was going to question. I was going to expose. Yes, I was going to settle the score. What I don't get, why did she not go in the well to see if Satoshi was in there? The body might not be recognizable anymore, but maybe clothing.
Because I don't think she would want that answer.
Yeah, that is probably...
The question is, what happened to him and who did it?
Well, we're convinced he got killed.
What happened and who did it? Because if you find out, you can build the anger and then you can take revenge on that person. If you go down there and you find the person of a loved one, the body of a loved one.
Fair.
Same but different, I would think, but...
I'd carry out the plan I came up with yesterday. I could hide the hag's death somehow. All I'd have to say is that she hadn't been feeling well since Watanagashi. I could do it all while pretending to be Mion. Just in case her friends at school became suspicious, maybe I'd start telling them I hadn't been feeling well either. In fact, I did feel groggy from my lack of sleep. When I became Mion, Shion would automatically disappear. I'd already told Kasai that I snuck into the shrine storage, so he'd probably end up telling people that I was demoned away due to the curse of Oyashiro-sama. The last person I'd have to think about was the fourth one who snuck into the ritual storehouse, Keiichi Maebara. Maybe I can use him as bait to lure out the enemy. Sorry, Kei-chan, you're going to be my bait. Didn't we already have this talk with ourselves?
No. Not really. Not like this.
Not like this, no, but we have already decided that he's going to be bait.
No, that she would need to look over him or look out for him. That's different.
Not look out for him to make sure nothing happens for him, just look out if they come after him.
Not the same though.
It's kind of using him as bait.
One is checking if something happened, the other one is to actively make a choice to be willing to sacrifice somebody to learn something.
Yeah, but that's the talk we had yesterday. Even in the hopes that they would go after Keiichi so that she would find out who is the one doing all of this.
I'm not going to repeat what I just said.
This. Well, it's okay, we know you're wrong. I felt a little bad since I was starting to like him. With all that figured out, let's go to school. I'd gone to school as Mion before, so I knew how things work.
Yeah, last time went really well. When you almost killed Rika and Satoko.
Go to school, start a fight, go home.
Good first day back, yeah.
It was almost time to leave the house.
Just continue to beat up your friends.
Yeah, exactly. Satoko showing up for class today like, why do I hear class music the moment you step 1 foot in?
The moment she sees Shmion, wait, what's this? The health bar of Shion.
Yeah, and then you turn around and the door is gone and it's like this foggy wall that you cannot walk past anymore.
Yeah, you hear the door close behind you and it gets locked.
Yeah.
And for some reason, all the other kids in class have moved to the walls and they start doing this like Latin Gregorian chant. Yeah. Sephiroth. Yeah.
Miorov.
Shmion. I should not sing.
Mi-chan, you're late. Huh? You waited? You should have just gone on ahead.
Hey, Mion. Your face is red. You're breathing heavily too.
Mi-chan, are you not feeling well? Rina put her hand on my forehead. It's not just putting it down. Oh, Rina, your hand is pretty cold. Mi-chan, you're a little bit warm. It's no big deal. Give it half a day and I'll be fit as a fiddle.
Are you really okay? You don't have to push yourself, you know.
What's this? Kei-chan, are you worried about me? Oh, that's so nice of you. I'd always thought he was a goofball, so I was a little surprised. I thought they would tease me, but they didn't. I just think you shouldn't push yourself so hard. What?
I think I just realized something.
What?
I'll write it down before I forget about it. Do you remember we've been playing Higurashi for a while and I've said at some point, if only there was some sort of clue when it's Mion or when it's Shion? I think I just realized that there is a clue.
What is the clue?
What if, here's my theory, whenever Shion takes over for Mion, she says, this old man. What if in all the scenes Mion has said that it was actually Shion? I do not recall every instance and if she ever said that while Shion was around. Because there have been 2 or 3 moments in the game where Keiichi or somebody else was in a room or somewhere with Mion and Shion, like at the Watanagashi festival.
I am 90% sure that Mion has said this old man while in a room with Shion.
I don't remember that.
In this chapter. In the room of Shion. And you can write it down, but I don't think that's it. And why would she not say this old man now then?
She said 2 lines to these people. Not the point. I'm saying if she now does it at some point, that's the clue that whenever Shmion said that, it was actually Shion. And I'm thinking this because is she good at acting as Mion? Yes, but she is still Shion acting as Mion. So there is still some sort of like disconnect between the two because they are different people. Mion is the kind-hearted one, Shion isn't. So by going this old man, referring to yourself in the third person, not actually to yourself, but as the person you are currently portraying to be.
I see what you're saying, but I do not agree because if Shion says it, it's Mion's stop word, I want to say.
Again, Shion is stop word is not a thing.
Stop word is a thing. We've had this discussion several times already.
It isn't. We have Googled this multiple times on stream because Tifa insists that it's a thing and isn't. It's a catchphrase. For those that do not
know, a stop word is like a catchphrase or a word that you repeat a lot. So, this old man is basically
stop word, it's like a catchphrase. It's a moniker.
Stop word. And Reina will have to say it to keep up the appearance that she is Mion.
Every time you say stop word, an angel loses their wings.
Stop word. Stop word, stop word, stop word, stop word. Anyway.
So we've established in this stream you hate women. You hate angels. I'm gonna add this to the list if you don't stop.
No, but seriously, I don't think that's the clue at all.
You just started 3 sentences without finishing one.
Yeah, no. I see what you're trying to say, but I don't think so for the reasons I've already said.
We will see. If she says it at any point onwards in this chapter, I take that.
That is not a confirmation! Until you know that Mion actually does not say it. It is not a confirmation. Because if she says it now, it is, like I said, just to keep up appearances that she is Mion, who says it quite often.
You mad, bro?
Yes. Because this is one of those things that don't make sense.
Gaming check, enjoy a drink. You done?
Yeah, but it's not a confirmation, is what I'm saying. Until they actually go, oh, Mion never said this. That's a confirmation.
You can believe what you want to believe.
I just think you shouldn't push yourself so hard. Yeah, Jack, don't push yourself so hard.
I'm not.
We can tell the teacher you had to take the day off. I'm fine. I took some medicine. I think it's already working.
Okay, then let's go. Don't overdo it, but of course there's the time.
What? We need to run or we won't make it. This morning got pretty thrilling. Maybe it's just what I need to shake off this sluggishness. Well, let's run.
Every time I press the button to advance the text, I'm waiting for this old man.
President, if you would. Everybody stand up. Add attention. I'd made the same mistake before. I never learn, do I?
That's another clue. Not for a prediction, but I should click first before I scroll. Let me write that down. Clue. When Mion seems
off.
Surprised?
Out of it.
To do something, it's Shion.
Yeah, but she also messed up when the day she beat up Satoko. That's what this is currently referring to.
What?
I never learn, do I? She made the same mistake before. When she played Mion, the first day she went to school. Didn't she also mess up?
It's about you are the class president and Shion has to remind herself that Mion is the class president.
Yes.
This has nothing to do with her beating up children.
At the assembly, she made the same mistake before because she forgets that she's class president. I'm just referring to the moment where she made the same mistake before.
The day, not the moment, because the moment you referred to just now was when she beat up literal children.
I said the day. That day when she beat up Satoko, when she went to school. Oh my god. I'm not even disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that is when she first messed up.
There's nearly 1 million people in check on Duolingo. How can one hate themselves that much? I think learning a new language is a cool thing to do.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It can
but
be.
Handy. Well, I disagree with that. Do you think Michan is doing okay? She doesn't look good. Oh, really? How unfortunate. It was a good idea to make them believe I was sick. Even if I did things differently from Mion, I had an excuse.
Well, you know, girls have those days when they just don't feel well.
I don't have those days. Mion's friends kept each other occupied and left me alone.
Yeah, let's not comment on that.
Keiichi Maebara. He might suddenly disappear one day. I couldn't let that happen. That would be like letting a fish take the bait and swim away while I was fast asleep with a fishing pole in my hands. I couldn't miss the moment the enemy took a bite out of Keiichi. I had to be very careful. But it was impossible to keep my eyes on him 24/7 or 24 hours a day.
24/7 a day.
Well, I would have ended the line at 24/7.
No.
Would have still worked. Spying on him at school like this wasn't good enough. Should I have him meet with Shion and let her explain that he's in danger? Maybe we could set up a strategy together. I didn't think Keiichi realized how serious a crime it was to step into the ritual storehouse. I hadn't, after all. Didn't she call him in one of the chapters to tell him?
I think so, yeah. That's when Keiichi had his nervous breakdown about all of this, I think.
Was that still in chapter 2 as well? Everything now is basically chapter 2 now.
Unless the game gives us like a splash screen that goes, and this led into the events of chapter 2 as you have seen them. Chapter 5 might just be a prequel to a chapter 2-like story.
Fair enough. For now, I'm going to say that we're going into chapter 2 from a different angle.
Ish.
Well, I'm gonna leave the ish in my suspicion. Since last year, all the incidents that related to the curse had probably been investigated in secret. It wouldn't be an answer arc otherwise. People involved with the 3 families would know about the incident from last night, but Keiichi shouldn't know anything. If he knew where he stood now, he'd be more cautious too. That should make him aware of his surroundings, and maybe he would notice if anything odd took place. The teacher caught him sleeping, so she ordered him to go wash his face. He walked out into the hallway. I was sleepy too. I had to be alert, but I couldn't clear my mind due to my lack of sleep. I decided to go home early. Since I'd been pretending to be sick since morning, my request was approved. As I exited the building, I saw Keiichi washing his face. I thought you'd be out here. It feels better outside, huh?
Mion? No cutting class now.
It looked like it felt refreshing for him to wash his face with cold water. I washed my face too.
I washed his face too.
But it didn't feel as good as it looked.
Mion, how's your cold doing? You're sleepy because of a medicine, not from lack of sleep, yeah?
Actually, this is a secret, but after the festival yesterday, I got wrapped up in the party my relatives were having. And, well, I had a bit. I pretended to drink with an invisible glass.
If you drink like this, it's going everywhere on your face, but not down your mouth.
I think that's the sign you can give for that.
I think it's the... and not the...
I think you can definitely do that for drinking.
Tifa, no one tries to drink on purpose with jazz hands.
Oh, I completely... Now that we're talking about jazz hands, do you know what this sign means? You go like...
I have met Tifa.
So it means that the food is really tasty.
In sign language?
No, just in Dutch. That's not an official sign language thing where you have your hand like on your belly and you go like... It's like food is tasty. And I never knew that was not like a universal thing, even though I never really use it.
I'm gonna hurl. Also,
why don't you use that for hurling?
If you already speak with your hands because you want to motion to somebody, why not actually learn the sign language? Way of saying it.
I don't know, people motion for a lot of things.
Yeah.
But you also don't learn the sign language for it.
Yeah, but I just realized this myself. Wouldn't it be sweet if every time you were thinking of how do I say this with my hands when my mouth is occupied, you learn how to say it in sign language?
Yeah, that could be. Well, now you know Dutch language.
No, when the waiters come and ask me while I have my mouth stuffed, I'll just speak with my mouth open while all the half-chewed food falls out of my face.
Thank you for the fact, Tifa. You're welcome. I suddenly had to think about it because I saw confusion about that a while ago. And I was like, oh, that is actually an odd thing. And then I completely forgot about it, even though I had it tucked away as like a stream thing for the beginning. And now I suddenly remember it.
My go-to, because here's the thing. I have very little talents in life. But one of the ones I have is that the waiters will always ask me how the food is the moment I just stuffed my face. And it's extra awkward if a person doesn't realize that I don't normally sit there like this. And then they wait for me to audibly say something. So usually I just grunt into my filled mouth like something like this. And then they understand. Usually that works. Can recommend that versus this could also be the choreography from a music video, like teaching children how to use a sponge when they shower when they're very little. You take the sponge and you wash your face, and you take the sponge and you wash your face, and the belly. And the belly.
In that order.
I mean, start at the bottom, go down, right? Start at the bottom.
Start at the bottom, go down. I always knew when you spoke there was bullshit.
I exclusively wash my feet and nothing else. No, start at the top and then go down, isn't it? How do you wash yourself?
Basically.
That's not the same. That's dodging the question, basically.
Well, I usually start with my head and end with my head. Because I leave the shampoo in.
Really? That long?
Sometimes, yeah.
That might explain why my hair isn't dead and yours is.
That probably is the reason, yeah.
You're supposed to leave... I think the stuff we have is supposed to stay in your hair for like a minute.
Well...
Try it tomorrow.
My hair's already dead for years.
By next week, Tifa will sit here with a lion's mane worth of the fluffiest, curliest hair you've ever seen. Because I taught her how to read the instructions on the shampoo bottle. Are you hungover? How old are you?
Keiichi exaggerated his reaction, but he still seemed worried.
He did what?
He exaggerated his reaction.
He what?
I'm saying it right. Exaggerating. Yes, exaggerated. How else do you say that?
Exaggerated.
That's what I said.
No, you didn't.
What am I saying? Exaggerated. Exaggerated. Exaggerated.
Exaggerated?
Yeah, now I'm saying
That's a Pokemon.
It's because I saw the U.
Exaggerated.
Exaggerated.
No, not exaggerated. There's no cure for this, apparently.
Exaggerated.
That's the first time you said it properly. Funnily enough, she can say the word when she's just speaking casually, but when she's reading it...
Exaggerated. Yeah, that's
how you say it.
That's how it should be spelled. Makes more sense.
But that's not the word.
But it makes more sense.
Exaggerated. Exactly. It even has egg in it.
Weird word. I've already said my line.
No, you haven't.
Look at me.
You have not, actually.
Yes, I have.
I turned off the keyboard. Tifa cannot advance.
Keiichi exaggerated.
No, that's worse. There is no jacket in there. Exaggerated.
Exaggerated.
He still says it with a U.
Yeah, just... Keiichi exaggerated his reaction, but he still seemed worried.
I give up. It will only get worse. Okay, la terre. I'm going back.
I like to go back too.
Okay, later. I'm going back. Be careful on your way home. Don't wobble into a sewer or a brook, got it?
Keiichi turned around to go back to the classroom. Oh, one more thing, Keiichi. I stopped Keiichi. He, in response, turned around.
What's up?
This may sound weird, but don't think too hard about it.
Well, depends on what it is.
Last night, near the end of the festival, did you see Tomitake-san or Takano-san anywhere? I noticed Keiichi's body tense up. His reaction proved that he felt guilty about sneaking into the ritual storehouse. He was frightened that Mion Sonozaki might know about it. I guess this was enough to give him a certain impression of Mion Sonozaki. You know Tomitake-san and Takano-san, don't you? You remember, Kei-chan, when the four of you were talking during setup the day before? I could clearly see how dismayed Keiichi felt. He was trying to come up with an excuse.
I can't remember. I might have seen them, or not.
He was both a bad liar and a bad actor. He wasn't really that intelligent at all. Well, that would make him a suitable friend for Mion. He was just a brat, unlike Satoshi-kun. Although, when it came to lying and acting, Satoshi-kun was at about the same level. Maybe Keiichi should be credited for at least trying to tell a lie. Satoshi-kun wouldn't even have said a thing. I didn't need to be thinking about him right now. I see. Then, one more question. On the same night, did you see Shion? This was a very mean question. Keiichi was perplexed, as I'd expected.
Also, unrelated to this, but you know what I just realized?
What?
Doesn't this also answer the question who the girl was at Angel Mall, working there?
As in? Didn't we already know it started with Shion?
No, that was Mion then.
Mion has also worked there, yeah.
Yeah, but it was Mion in the maid dress.
I think he might have seen both of them. No.
No, he cannot have...
Mion would not have worked there. Mion would have just disappeared.
Mion... I'm thinking two things at the same time. So, Here's the meta perspective. What is the truth in Higurashi? Is the truth only the things that line up exactly between the chapters? Are there some half-truths maybe? Like in chapter 2, Shion worked as a waitress at Angel Mort. In chapter 5, Shion, as a back of a house staff member, administration, worked at Angel Mort. Is the truth, therefore, Shion worked at Angel Mort? Or, here's my second line of thinking, does that leave open Mion and Shion worked at Angel Mort? Because then that means in chapter 2, the girl we met at Angel Mort, that we were hitting on, that was hitting on us, that grabbed us like this and then strolled down the street and said she was Shion, was actually Mion pretending to be her sister.
Why would Mion need to pretend to be Shion though?
To get close to Keiichi.
Mion was already close to Keiichi.
To tell him the things she couldn't as herself.
But she didn't say anything that she couldn't tell as herself.
To show him a side of her that she couldn't show him otherwise. And that would also make sense, if you ask me, with the whole we are the same person thing that has been done over and over in chapter 5 between Shion and Mion.
I see where you're going. I disagree though with the whole would this be the truth and can there be only one? Because I'm still very much convinced that we have different universes happening here. And that I do think that even though there is going to be a connection between all of them, they are separate. So that means there are several truths maybe. For some reason there's a replay happening. I still believe that because why would we see different versions and then have to figure out, oh, what's the lie? That doesn't make
prediction.
sense.
I just thought of this. I think that would work. I don't know why you would do it like this, and I don't know how that's gonna play into the meta narrative of all of Higurashi. But how can it be that potentially the same story gets told now for the 5th time, but details are different, right?
What detail is different in this one?
It's from a completely different perspective.
But then the details aren't different, just the way they go about it.
Okay, chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4.
No, I think I've mentioned this before already.
Can I get my theory out of the way first, please? Thank you. That would be super nice of you.
But you asked me a question that I'm answering.
I didn't actually.
You asked the how.
No. How? I am asking them, not you.
Okay, well then don't ask me.
I need to talk to... No. How can...
Imagine answering a question that's thrown out in the open.
How can it be that in chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, and now in 5, we learn things that happened roughly around the same time in Hinamizawa? Not so much in chapter 4, but in 1, 2, 3, and 5. A little bit in 4. And how can it be that these stories are similar enough to be similar, but different enough that they confuse the hell out of us? What if every chapter of Hinamizawa is the story of what happened being told by a different person? The discrepancies between the different chapters, the differences in how the stories play out, are down to oral retelling of a story. That's how fairy tales and stuff have evolved and changed over time. That's why there are many different versions of the same fairy tales. Because somebody told somebody the story at some point, and then later on they tell the story to somebody else, and then they add things or they change things. And that's why the same stuff happens but different aspects are different. What doesn't make sense about this is, actually no, that all makes sense. In chapter 1, Keiichi dies. That's the important part. At the end, Keiichi dies. In chapter 2, in the end, assuming that zombie Shmion does something to him, Keiichi dies. In chapter 3, eventually, years later, I think, no, months later, after all of the horrible stuff happened, he dies. Going with that theory, wouldn't that mean Keiichi told 3 different stories in the same time frame though?
If you go with a retelling, it makes sense that the main character is retelling it, seeing how you're also part of his thoughts.
Because it's not Keiichi telling the story every single time. It's somebody telling the story from the perspective of a character called Keiichi.
So someone is telling the story from Keiichi's perspective, talking in a form where I'm also going into my thoughts, basically being the same as in the previous chapters, but I'm still not Keiichi, but someone else. But I know exactly what he's thinking, what his...
That sounds incredibly convoluted, and that's what makes me feel smart.
I disagree.
The history of Hinamizawa happens, and now 8 different people give you a retelling of what happened. And they're all not perfect at recalling only the events that they read about. They keep adding things. Maybe they've seen things slightly different.
I would have hopped on this train if we had different main characters.
The concept of Occam's razor is anathema to him. Yes. We only had 3 different perspectives though. Did we? I'm counting 5. Because
yeah, but not from different people.
I'm not talking about people, I'm talking perspectives. Different words, different things. 3 chapters with I'm thinking chapter 1, 2 and 3 were different Keiichis. And that could be down to the narrator telling the story differently. I'm gonna write my theory down.
Good. I will stick to my original theory that I'm not changing yet. And I really do think so far we're overlapping with the previous chapters. This is chapter 5? 4? 5.
It's in the title, you can see it right now.
I don't even see it, chapter 5.
We're playing in a window because it's easier for us.
No, I still think at least 1 to... What was it? Akasaka, did he have the entirety of chapter 4? No, he did not. Trying to think...
We've seen the story in chapter 4 through the eyes of Akasaka. Except for the tips, then sometimes we saw it through the eyes of the kidnapped kid.
Yeah, okay. So chapter 1 to 3 were all Keiichi. 4 was completely Akasaka. I think 4 was mainly there to give a whole background story on everything that has happened and get a bit more details on that. But 1 and 3, I'm still convinced, are 3 different realities that all connect to one another. And now we're somehow going to learn what the connection is. But I think so far we are actually overlapping one of those realities, which is currently chapter 2.
So it's going to be 5 and 2, 6 and 3, 7 and 4, 8 and 1.
That could
Something
be
like
so
that.
far.
I don't actually know. I would just imagine that if the very last one rounds out the very first one, that would be like a perfect circle. You know, the journey ends where it started, kind of.
But currently I believe we have 3 different realities.
Can you please do that properly? That hurts my hand.
3 different realities. 4 is I'm gonna call it prequel to everything happening in those 3 so far. Let's call it, that's at the end of that, there's a split in the road.
4 being outside of... Wait.
I don't think 4 counts as its own thing. It's something that all chapters can agree that is what kicked it all off.
Or 1, 2 and 3 line up with 5, 6, 7 And 8 is its own thing. Because based on the all-cast review thing of Chapter 3, Chapter 4 is what became Chapter 5. So if you assume that Chapter 4 falls out of the whole thing, Chapter 8 could be its... We will find out.
So far, Chapter 5 kind of perfectly overlaps with Chapter 2 so far.
Yeah, but I'm saying that doesn't need to be a counterpoint to Chapter 4.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I think 1, 2, and 3... It started with 4. 4 is the beginning. From 4, no changes. Then it splits into 1, 2, and 3, which is why we need to figure out why is that split there. And I think seeing how these are called answer arcs, I think by putting these answer arcs together that will go into the chapters we had, we're going to learn why they are separate.
So do you think we'll get an answer arc for Chapter 4? Because otherwise it's 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No,
how does 8 happen?
I think we're gonna get a 5, 6, and 7 as the answer arcs for 1, 2, and 3.
Which is what I just said.
And 8 will be its own thing that will put it all together.
Exactly what I meant to say.
No, you said 8 is for 4.
Meant to say.
Yeah, but you didn't say it.
No, if you looked... I think on screen it made sense. 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, 8 is a standalone that will bind it all together.
It did not make sense. See, This is what happens when Tifa gets to ramble on about her weird theories.
Yeah, because you interrupt me and then put things in there that make no sense. The things I don't come with a lot of theories, but I feel like the theories I do say make more sense than the ones you say. Because you say everything.
You'll be the judges of it. And also, I'm with Psycho. I should press A. Didn't you ask me that yesterday? I think I told you that I wasn't sure if I had or not.
I'd asked him that yesterday. He must have meant that Mion Sonozaki asked him that question. In other words, she asked him after he left the storehouse and got back together with his friends. Damn you, Mion. When I asked her, she said she had no idea we went into the ritual storehouse. She knew. Shit. Did you? I guess I just thought I'd get a different answer if I asked you again.
Why are you so intent on knowing if I did or not?
He was getting defensive. Keiichi couldn't hide his panic as he flared up at me. It's not important. It's just that there are some people who are speaking poorly of Tomitake-san, Takano-san, Shion, and you, Keiichi. I didn't really hear what they were saying, though. Keiichi was really perplexed now. This wasn't fun at all, but it could still be an interesting game. I don't believe that you were doing something bad. I just wanted to ask a bit about it, so I did. Sorry for making you uncomfortable, okay? I made sure Keiichi felt a sense of crisis and then left.
This bitch. I get it, though.
Nobody can tell us apart. We're Mion and Shion, perfect twins. Notebook page 186.
How about after all of your wild theories, Tifa, and nobody being able to follow them? Which is a problem I don't have.
Of course.
We take a short break.
BRB.
BRB, people.
And we're back.
We are.
Oh, okay.
Imagine doing that before you go back on stream. Also, you somehow... I struggle to find a good position to sit today.
You ready?
Yes.
When I returned to the Sonozaki house, I saw a woman with an apron on. It was a housekeeper. Her name was Shimi. Oh my god. Shimiko.
Shimiko. Where's the yo?
Shimiko.
Shimiko.
It's not that hard.
Shimiko.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
No, it's Shimiko.
Yeah, Shimiko. It's not that hard.
No, it's Shimiko.
Shimiko.
There is no, it's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
Is it though?
Yep. Apparently it is. Her name was
Don't
Shimiko.
you all wish I could be the main character again?
I mess up less than you do.
Sure, that seems like an exaggeration. But...
I don't think so.
So sit like a human.
Can you let me do my
I'm
lines?
trying to get you out of a moment. No. Sit like a person.
Her name was Shimiko-san.
Okay, and now the whole thing without the bullshit?
It was a housekeeper. Her name was Shimiko-san. The hag had a few housekeepers who took care of the chores around the house. You can be the housekeeper. I have enough lines.
Then she's stealing my water too.
Oh no.
Why would you do that, you idiot?
There it goes.
You utter moron. Let's throw things around live on stream in front of a keyboard, by the way. And now she spilled water everywhere. Please tell me that didn't go on the microphone.
No, you just saw it spill here. Which is on you because you're moving and tapping me.
I did not see. That's why I'm asking people.
There, it's all dry again.
Yeah, how about you give me the water? Because clearly you cannot be trusted with
that
drinks
break was
either.
not good for you.
Says Shimikyo-san. You good?
Yeah, I'm waiting for you.
The world is waiting for you.
You're the one that comes out of the break all grumpy. Do you need another break? I know, right? Look at how he comes back. It's been 5 minutes.
It's a nice tried gaslighting, but it doesn't work to you. Mion-chan, I'm glad you're here.
Hey, Shimoko-san, can I help you?
No, it's not me. It's not me.
No, this is me.
Yeah.
I said the way you're acting is you.
How about we redo the last 3 lines so that anybody, including me, has a chance to get back into it?
No. Hey, Shimiko-san, can I help you? Jack, please. Yeah, thank you, Psycho.
What did I do?
Yeah, this is all on you and you never realize it.
Also, don't you mean honest Psycho?
Yeah, the saying the things is on me. That is definitely on me. All of the rest is you. And I'm glad you're finally being called out on that shit.
I have quality standards, I'm sorry.
Jack holding us hostage every other line. I know.
If only Tifa was reading every line and not just every other letter.
I just skipped a syllable.
You added one. You don't even realize the difference.
Tifa's mistakes give the stream their charm. Exactly. And you just try to ruin it all.
I get your point. But hear me out. Here, Tifa is suddenly, yeah, I'm about to get the chair and throw some books at her. But hear me out. I have in my mind, you're probably looking at the screen. You can read along, you know. What if somebody is just listening to this? If I let Tifa have her way, at some point, she's just gonna read fan fiction. Like,
as if. And even then, they will still get it. Like, you're the one throwing everyone out of it.
So wait, she mentioned one housekeeper, but now there's a Shimiko and a Shimio. Is it like Shion and Mion? Are they sisters?
You're not recording an audiobook, yeah, but
I want to be. I want to be.
He doesn't get that this is more annoying than just letting me go. But thank you guys for finally confirming it. Now I can use this in the discussions we have on this every week.
You're welcome to use this point, but I'm not gonna back down from having standards.
No, you're just an ass.
If that's what it takes.
Today was her turn to come help out at the house. She had arrived, but the gate was locked and she couldn't get in. She'd called, but there was no answer, so she had just been standing there not knowing what to do. Something must have happened to Granny at the festival. She's been in an evil mood ever since last night. Are you, Oreo?
I wish I had an Oreo right now. Then I could eat my feelings. Ah, I see.
Shimiko-san tried to remember if she had done something wrong.
It's not a feeling I'm aware of.
Yeah, we all know by now. She isn't ignoring you, she's just sleeping. She was up until very late, so I bet she can't wake up yet. You know how she is, right? Once she gets into this mood, it will take a long time for her to be happy again.
Yes, that's too bad.
I think it might be better that you don't show up for a while. Even if you don't mean to upset her, Granny might take it the wrong way. Just let me take care of it.
I see. Are you sure? I'm very grateful, though.
Sorry to make you do this, but could you let the other housekeepers know that they don't need to come for a while either? When Granny feels better, I'll give you a call. So let's just leave her alone for now. Shimiko-san bowed, then left on her bicycle. Anyone who had ever experienced Granny's wrath would understand. I headed into Mion's room, set her alarm clock for 2 p.m. and crawled into her bed. I needed to recover quickly. I had to be sharp, calm and cool-headed. School would be out by 2 p.m. Maybe I'd get in touch with Keiichi.
Sounds like my grandma. We all have people like that. If you don't, consider yourself lucky. My grandmother isn't like that.
No, I know. That's why I didn't point at a picture of your grandma now, did I?
You mean my grandmia?
But are we just gonna ignore that Mion is still in the dungeon without food and stuff?
But who gives a fuck? Like, who cares?
Like, at some point we're gonna have to give her something.
No, but literally, who cares?
Yeah, I guess.
What's she gonna do about it?
Fair enough. Maybe I'd get in touch with Keiichi. I'd have to call him. There would also be a staff meeting at the Furude Shrine Assembly Hall in the evening. All the leaders of the 3 families, their relatives and the town council members would gather at this meeting. They were all authority figures in Hinamizawa. I'd be attending in place of the hag who was sick. I'd worry about the rest when I got there. People shouldn't notice that Mion and the hag were missing for a long time.
She can be fined for 24 hours. Something like this.
True.
Egg. Mommy, thank you for a resub. Love. How are you doing?
Thank you very much.
Welcome in. Happy Sunday.
Everything he said.
I'm gonna drink to that.
Hi.
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 I waved first. We're in a bit of a competitive spirit currently.
Yeah, Jack was fine until like 10 minutes ago, and then somehow this break broke him.
You did.
That wasn't me. I was doing some dishes in the meantime.
Yeah, maybe you should. Anyway.
I didn't need to worry as I had plenty of time. I checked the alarm once more. Then fell asleep as if someone switched me off.
Hello?
Ah, this is Sonozaki. Well, the younger one. Hello. Do you have time to talk right now? That sounds so suspicious.
Shion? I thought you'd be sleeping in today with a hangover, same as Mion.
What? My sis had a hangover? That's so like her. Keiichi had no idea that the Mion he saw earlier was actually me. He didn't notice when we talked in person, so there's no way he would notice on the phone. I would be a little bit hurt.
This, by the way, is also the first time, from Shion's perspective, that she is calling Keiichi. And they have had plenty of phone conversations before this in chapter 2. So I'm assuming that was also Mion.
Also Mion. You mean that was just Mion?
that was also Mion because I'm believing that the girl working at Angel Mort as a waitress, who then went on her little dates with Keiichi, was Mion posing as Shion.
No, but what you're saying makes no sense. So you said, I believe this is now the first time we see Shion on the phone with Keiichi, so I believe that all the other phone calls were also Mion, is what you said. So repeat what you believe.
I just said it.
That doesn't make sense. I'm asking you to say it again.
For Tifa. It's... If my theory is correct, that in chapter 2, the girl at Angel Mort was Mion posing as Shion. Therefore, it was also Mion hanging out with Keiichi after work, where she posed as Shion, pretending to be Shion, who then decided together that they should have regular phone calls, that was also Mion pretending to be Shion. Because this, in chapter 5, is the first time we get to see the actual Shion having a phone call with Keiichi as herself.
Oh, okay, fair. But I don't recall the phone calls Shion had with Keiichi in chapter 2.
They had plenty, they were kind of dating.
Was that in 2?
Yeah, it was in chapter. When else? Which other chapter focused on a new character called Shion?
Well, fair enough, I guess. Fair enough.
Or it happened off screen in this chapter.
That could also still be a thing.
But with her being
unlikely.
depressed and laying in bed and having a whole life with the presence of what she presumed to be the presence of Satoshi, I don't think she actually spent her time having cute phone calls with Keiichi.
There's been no reason for her to call Keiichi.
Exactly. Thank you for proving my theory.
I'm not proving your theory. I'm also glad to hear you're doing good, Mame. But I do get what you're trying to say.
Good.
I never knew that playing 2 roles would be so much fun. To feel such enjoyment in this game of life or death, maybe I was getting used to the situation. Or maybe my senses had gone numb.
Whoops, sorry. My parents are waiting for an important call, so I can't talk for too long. What do you need?
There's something I wanted to talk about, but if we can't talk long, I guess that's that.
How about we meet in person? If you could show me where the library is too, that would be great.
You mean the public library near the station? Yeah, that's fine. I go past there on my way to work anyway. We decided to meet in Okonomiya. It wasn't easy to get there from Hinamizawa, but I had to hurry. I couldn't run into Keiichi as he was heading there himself.
Imagine Keiichi cycling to Okinomiya and then suddenly Shion just pulls up next to him. Oh yeah, I'm meeting you there, aren't I?
I recalled that the key to the hack's motorcycle was in her secret drawer.
Why does everybody here know how to drive a motorcycle suddenly?
Maybe that could also be the name for like one of those scooters or scootmobiles.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
I think most people had one of those.
Shion is just like... To be fair, with Shion, I'm buying it. With Keiichi, hell no.
Nah.
With Keiichi, that was so out of left field. Yeah, when I picked up the motorcycle and I drove it. No, I don't think you did. Lucky, but hey, the story needs to happen, right? But with Shion, yeah, 100%. There's nothing my girl boss can't do. Here's to girl bosses.
The hack usually got driven around for public events, but when she had her own errands, she rode her motorcycle. Keiichi, I assumed, was going to ride his bicycle. I tried to get to Okonomiya before he did. What? It's errand, not errands.
Aran is the last name of Samus in Metroid.
There was a D in there. Keiichi arrived quite a bit later than me. Motorcycles are faster after all. There were hardly any traffic lights to worry about on the way here either.
Wow, Mio never keeps her appointments. I mean, honestly.
Making my sister the standard for everything will get you in trouble.
You're a little unsteady. You didn't get much sleep last night either, did you? Don't try to hide it. You definitely went home from school early.
Oh, too bad. I've been at home all day from the beginning. I'm smarter than my sis after all.
Hey now, I don't think you can call playing hooky smarter.
You should finish your errand. Oh my god, now you're stuck in my head. You should finish your errand first. We don't have that much time. We're going to the library, right? You're okay. Even the screens are shaking.
I'm jiggling. And it's so cute to me how you say that word. Like, I consider myself lucky to have Tifa in my life, but beyond that, if Tifa ever were to get kidnapped and I would end up in a weird horror, like game show kind of scenario where there would be 15,000 different types of Tifa impersonators, I would be able to pick her like nothing every single time.
What if they all say it like me?
They won't. Because nobody does, Tifa. Nobody does it like you. Yeah, thanks. My mom had to return some books by today. Is the library far?
Oh, it's right nearby.
The universe can render only one Tifa at a time.
It will also be quite easy if there's like 10 in a row and they go like, oh, answer this question or we taser, and all of them are like, answer, Jack, answer. And I'm like, no, don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
Hell yeah!
I mean it when I said we didn't have much time. I had to hurry a little. I was just going to talk to him on the phone, but I ended up coming all the way to Okonomiya. After our talk, Keiichi would slowly head back to Hinamizawa on his bicycle. I'd have to rush back there while making sure I didn't run into him. Otherwise, I couldn't make it on time for the meeting. Maybe I could be a little late, but since I needed to hear everything they were going to discuss, I didn't want to be. This was the Shishibone Public Library. It is very green. It was sizable, filled with a collection of moldy, smelly books. But they did have air conditioning, and it was quiet. It was the perfect place for when you wanted to be alone. After Satoshi-kun disappeared last year, I came here a lot to think about various things. This was where I first met Takano-san. I didn't want to run into her with Keiichi and so. But then I remembered that she was already dead.
Air conditioning, huh? Yeah.
I do find it funny that that is being pointed out, because isn't that quite standard, even in that time in Japan, for every house to have air conditioning?
I don't think so. I think that... Wait. We can find that out with the power of the internet at my fingertips. Do houses in Japan have...
Fucking love air conditioning. Wait, which reference am I missing?
Most Japanese houses have individual AC installed in each room.
Yeah, but I meant more in the 80s.
Since when do houses in Japan have air conditioning?
With the heat there, you absolutely want air conditioning.
There were no air conditioners in the past, says somebody on Quora. But
I think in the past is before the 80s.
Central air is almost non-existent in Tokyo. Most living areas will have an individual wall-mounted unit. 8 years ago, on Reddit.
Yeah, that's standard. We're not gonna find out.
No.
There's just a certain man in the series that loves air conditioning. Every time air conditioning is brought up, I think of him. Wait.
An older man works for the police. Made that one of the unique selling points of why you should sit in his car with him?
Oh, fair, yeah.
Ooishi. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I have air conditioning in my car.
Fair. The first floor of the building was occupied by government offices.
Oh wait, I'm still in the world. I say, pressing frantically.
The library itself was on the second floor, so we had to walk up a huge staircase to get there. I tasted cool air on my skin as soon as I walked through the automated door. Unlike outside, it was very quiet in here. The room temperature was both comfortable and suitable for books. I could smell the scent of old pages.
All libraries smell the same.
Keiichi walked up to the return table after he said so. Because it was a weekday, there was hardly anyone around. It really was very quiet. I was going to chat about some ordinary things, and then move on to the main subject.
So, what did you have for dinner? Oh, by the way, you know you're gonna die, right?
Like we're in a hurry and we're not gonna cut to the chase immediately. After Keiichi returned the books, I invited him to the inner section of the library. Keiichi knew Mion well, but he didn't know me at all.
There we go. Where's your confirmation? Where is your confirmation to my theory?
It's not really a confirmation.
How can Keiichi not know Shion at all if he picked her up after work, they went on dates, they had regular phone conversations? Remember in chapter 2, Shion is like his almost kind of girlfriend by the time they go break into the storehouse. Where he even gets a little excited, like, oh, you're leading me to a secluded area in the woods? Okay. That was a whole thing.
Yeah, true. You might actually have a point here. I think she means on a personal level.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. That was Mion.
Okay, I'm starting to...
At least, meta-narrative, at least if those events happened in chapter 5, assuming chapter 5 is separate from chapter 2, then if they happened, here it was Mion pretending to be Shion, flirting and going out with Keiichi.
Yeah, I'm starting to see it.
Yeah, and that's why you should just trust my instincts and my theories, because I'm always right.
No. I have actually won the majority of games where we did a prediction count.
I don't recall that.
That won't work with this game, but... You don't recall that? Excuse me?
Stick to your own theory no matter what. Change your mind. Gaslight everyone saying what you knew all along. Yes, I've never been saying anything else. I think it was even before the opening of chapter 1 I predicted.
Before we even started, he already said this.
Yeah.
He showed an interest in our life story. This was exactly where Takano-san told me about the true history of Hinamizawa a year ago. I was about to tell Keiichi about things that were very similar to that. Did God have a sense of irony?
It's like poetry, it rhymes. Now that you mention it, that toy store looked like it was managed by relatives as well. Does that mean they operate Angel Mall too?
I told him the reason why the Sonozaki family was so powerful in this area.
Yakuza.
I assumed that since Keiichi came from the city, there was a good chance he couldn't even begin to understand how one old family could literally control an entire area. Unless I explained to him how powerful the Sonozaki family was, he wouldn't understand what kind of danger was barreling towards him. The family is particularly strong in finance and real estate. Even a lot of members of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry either have the last name Sonozaki or are their relatives. There are Sonozakis in the city council and the prefectural assembly too, since they have the Okonomiya area giving them strong electoral support.
Wait a minute. This is all escalating pretty quickly. Your relatives operate shops in downtown Okinonomiya and they're especially strong in finance and real estate? On top of that, a lot of people in the Chamber of Commerce and Industry are relatives, and there are even some elected to local offices?
Keiichi counted with his fingers. He was clearly surprised to hear all that about the Sonozaki family. It seemed he was flexible enough to accept even something that sounded outrageous to him. He was starting to understand things, although slowly. The way he viewed Shion Sonozaki was changing little by little too. That should be enough background information. Now I could go on to explain about Mion Sonozaki, the successor. Then I changed the subject, like Takano-san did with me. I'd go on to talk about the curse of Oyashiro-sama and then the series of mysterious deaths.
So then, the Sonozaki family, it's pretty famous in this area. Yep. Crazy, isn't it?
A fat man with a cigarette suddenly cut into our conversation. Ooishi?
Ooishi, my beloved. Wow, I will tell Chie. I will tell Chie. Also, now that I mentioned Chie, a random note, I want to make curry again.
Can do.
Haven't had one in a while.
Why was he here?
Hello. Good afternoon. Are you on a date today? No, what I would give to be young again.
If you thought we were on a date, then why are you bothering us, ooishi-san? What timing. It couldn't be a coincidence. I knew this man too well. He was crafty, sly, and clever. His presence here just can't be a coincidence. Did he see us somewhere in town and follow us? But why? Did he need something from me, Keiichi, or perhaps the both of us? From what I could guess, I didn't think it was me that he wanted something from. It was almost like he was trying to keep Keiichi away from me. Ooishi was aware I gave false testimony to protect Satoshi-kun last year. Maybe he didn't think he could talk to Keiichi if I was around. Why did Ooishi need to talk to Keiichi? It must be about the incident from yesterday. I'm sure there were plenty of plainclothes? Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were plenty of plainclothes officers at the festival, so they had to have seen who was last with the victims.
Undercover.
Yeah, I didn't see the officers behind it. In other words, Keiichi and me. But Ooishi knew I was hard to deal with. That was why he was focusing on Keiichi at present. Why did he have to show up at a time like this?
Or maybe it's because every time somebody hangs out with you, you crazy bitch, they die. You know?
Can't be a coincidence.
Satoshi, Takano, Lord knows who else. Maebara-san, right? You're one tough guy. Two-timing the Sonozaki sisters, are you? No, I'm not two-timing anyone.
Keiichi looked at me, hoping for assistance. He blushed. The way he panicked reminded me of Satoshi-kun. That aside, this wasn't going well. Ooishi might even start talking about my relationship with Satoshi-kun. I didn't want him to, nor did I want Keiichi to have any preconceptions. Ooishi took a quick glance at me. His eyes told me something. He was purposefully talking about the things I'd rather not talk about. He was basically telling me to leave, or he'd continue on to something that was worse than what they were currently talking about. He didn't use words, but his eyes clearly communicated that anyway. Nobody needed to hear that.
I think they did.
Damn that big fat weasel. Oh, I'm sorry, Kei-chan. I really do need to get to my job.
Huh? Oh, you do?
I realized that I wouldn't achieve anything like this, even if I stayed longer, so I used my part-time job as an excuse to leave. Ooishi looked at me and grinned. Damn it. He won today, but I'll win next time.
Wait, didn't you have something to talk about today, Shion?
Yep, I'll see you later. Oh, I'll give you a call after I'm done. It will be okay to call at night, right?
Yeah, Probably okay.
Then I'll talk to you later tonight. Bye!
Whoosh. Alright. That ain't going well.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. The hack's motorcycle had become my primary means of transportation.
How does nobody see that, by the way?
People probably do, but then what?
Well, Mion wasn't driving it around, so why would Shion be driving it around?
Well, they know the hack uses it for private stuff. Maybe now that word has gone around that she's not feeling well, she's sending Mion instead.
Fair. I was thinking for a moment, maybe Shion is cosplaying as Oreo when she gets on the bike.
No, it makes sense. My next stop was the staff meeting at the Furude Shrine's assembly hall. It was easy to imagine how a normal meeting would play out as if it were just celebrating the end of Watanagashi. But today's staff meeting was likely going to be as strained as the Sonozaki family councils.
Maybe worse, what with there being 2 people dead and all that.
Yes, this staff meeting was going to deal with the heart of Hinamizawa. I couldn't let my guard down even for a moment. I rested for a while at the house and then left for the meeting. I walked up the long stairs to the Furude Shrine. At the top, I saw some elderly men smoking in front of the hall. Since they had a minor fire a long time ago, it had been made into a non-smoking area.
Is that Mion-chan?
The head of the Kimiyoshi family, Uncle Kimiyoshi, noticed me and waved. He must not have expected Mion to come alone. Normally it would have been either the hack by herself or Mion tagging along as an assistant.
The hack by myself. Don't do that to yourself. You're better than this.
Granny's been in a terrible mood since the incident last night. She's been staying in bed and won't even let me get near her. They all understood how troublesome she was when in a bad mood.
Was she ever in a good mood? Not that we've met her like this. Actually, a little bit when she was amused by little Rika walking around and drawing.
For a short moment.
Yeah.
They smiled bitterly in sympathy.
So you're here as a Sonozaki family representative then? Has Oreo-san told you anything?
Sort of. What did he mean, has Oreo-san told you anything? That line by itself didn't really explain much. The staff meeting was usually led by the mayor, the head of the Kimiyoshi family. And he'd asked me, as the substitute for the Sonozaki family head, if I'd heard anything from her. I then realized who was supposed to lead today's staff meeting. No, Kimiyoshi-san? Do I really have to lead the meeting today? According to the ranking order at the family councils, any substitute for the Sonozaki family head is above the Kimiyoshi family head. In other words, I'd have to lead today's meeting. There was no way I could do that.
Don't worry, I'll do it. You can just take a seat, Mion-chan. If there's anything you've heard from Oreo-san, just let us know, okay? Kimiyoshi-san, why don't we get started? Everyone's here now.
The smokers put out their cigarettes and went back into the hall. The tables were set in a horseshoe shape, and I was told to sit next to the chair reserved for the chief. The seat opposite mine was empty. Considering its location, it was probably for the Furude family head, Rika Furude. But somebody had said earlier that everybody was already here. Either Rika-chama had called in absent, or the empty seat was just a formality. Knowing the subject of this meeting, I don't think that the Furude family head would even want to attend. Even if Rika-chama actually attended, she wouldn't be able to say anything. All she'd usually do at the Sonozaki family councils was draw pictures on a notepad.
It's kind of adorable still. Ultimately useless, I think, but adorable.
She would probably end up drawing pictures in this meeting too. Besides, they probably didn't want her to hear anything unpleasant. In this way, the empty Furude family seat was easily explained. When everyone was seated, the head of the Women's Association served tea. She gave me an evil look, trying to tell me to help out. I got up and did so.
Excuse me, do you know who you're looking at, lady? I'm kind of a big deal around here.
After that, everyone fell quiet and the secretary stood up.
Everyone, thank you for coming today on such a short notice despite your busy schedules. Let's start with a few words from the mayor. Go ahead, please. Old man, jumpscare. Please excuse me for staying seated. Ken-chan, you stay seated too. Thank you all for coming today. Also, you all did a great job at Watanagashi yesterday. The festival was a great success as usual. There weren't any mishaps. Lots of villagers came and I believe it went great on the whole. Let me see, how many people was it? According to the Imperial General Headquarters report, approximately 5,000 people showed up. The Imperial General Headquarters?
Sounds fancy.
Is that like an internal kind of title, or is that like an actual thing in Japan?
Everyone laughed except me.
I hope we'll continue to work together to carry on this tradition. I appreciate your cooperation.
An applause with only 8 people doesn't sound so great.
I was thinking, it's a shame we're only 2 people, but captures it perfectly. Okay, let's move on to today's proceedings. Kimiyoshi-san will lead the meeting today. Please applaud if you approve. Yeah, Kimiyoshi, do it! Thank you. Then, with your approval, Mayor Kimiyoshi will take over. Please, go ahead. Given the fact that even the woman handing out tea had the nerve to glare daggers at Shion, I would think sexism is still a thing in this meeting.
It's a woman's job.
Clearly, yeah. I mean, men's hands just fall off when they serve tea to somebody. It's a little known fact. Thank you, Ken-chan. Let's start now. Sorry, could you close the curtains?
They only found a remedy for that beginning of the 90s.
Yeah, it's spreading very slowly.
Yeah. Sexism and tradition go hand in hand, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yep, very much. Disgusting. Everyone closed the curtains nearest to them. The sun was still up, but with all the curtains closed, the room became very dark. The village chief explained the details of the incident, as well as what went on with the police. A police vehicle discovered Tomitake-san's body on its way back to Okonomiya last night. Oishi's special curse unit was standing by, expecting something to happen for the 5th time, so they responded quickly. Since Tomitake-san and Takano-san were rarely apart, Ooishi got in touch with the neighboring prefectural police departments and asked them to look for her. As a result, they found a burned body of a woman in the mountains of the Gifu prefecture, and the body was then identified as Mio Takano. Considering the circumstances, the police ended up labeling the incident as the 5th of the ongoing series of mysterious deaths. When he finished, there was dead silence. I watched to see who would speak first. Nobody said a thing. Then I noticed Kimiyoshi-san looking at me. This was where the head of the Sonozaki family would speak.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like, can one of you please step forward if you know, because I want to stab you? Mion-chan, has Oreo-san said anything about this whole thing?
Everyone looked in my direction. Yeah, they deserved it.
Fuck them kids. Yeah, that's what she said.
I was sure they could see the hack in me. I'm Mion Sonozaki, acting head of the Sonozaki family. I'm here in place of Oreo, the current head. Thank you for having me. I became Mion. I tried to become as cold and unfeeling as the Mion I witnessed a year ago. That cold version of Mion was inside of me. That was me. I was her. Unfortunately, the curse of Oyashiro-sama has come to pass for the 5th time. This is deeply regretful. Everyone was held captive by my words. I wasn't a little girl anymore. The hag was speaking through my mouth. They all heard me and trembled in fear.
I hate it when I have my grandmother in my mouth.
Does anyone know why the curse happened again this year? After my question, everyone whispered to each other. But not to me. I will tell you. It was because they broke the rule of the ritual storehouse and desecrated the sacred ground within.
How dare they! I hate young people!
A few elderly men got up and yelled.
The fools! I can't believe this!
They deserve to be killed. Oyashiro-sama, please calm your anger.
You can do the 4th one.
Yeah, but they're all men. I was the only one that had to serve them.
Oh, touche.
Oh my, how did that happen? Oyashiro-sama, this is why we hate outsiders. They just don't think. They're just too stupid.
They got what they deserved. It was their own fault.
The angry old men yelled even as they trembled in fear. Their sudden change scared me more than a little. Even Uncle Kimiyoshi, who was usually so gentle and sweet, became like a demon of war, cursing those who broke the rule of the ritual storehouse. It had become like a raging ocean inside the assembly hall. Their yells spun about like a whirlpool. They roared, crashed, and howled. Even while doing nothing but watch, I could feel myself turning pale. Mion threatened me yesterday, and Kasa had been shocked this morning. What I saw before me was similar to that. Even the sweet and gentle Uncle Kimiyoshi was saying they deserved to die. I was fearful of the sudden change in those elderly men. More than anything, the fact that they all believed that those people deserved to die for trespassing is what terrified me. It wasn't just that, of course. The real thing I was scared of was that I was one of the people they wanted dead. In other words, it was almost like they were telling me to die of the curse. If they were to find out I snuck into the ritual storehouse, it was very possible that they would strangle me on the spot. Actually, they might not even kill me that easily.
But why would you be mad at me? I, Mion Sonozaki, posed as my delinquent sister, Shion Sonozaki, to find the culprits. I had to do this. None of you would have.
No exception.
Yeah, but how can I break the rules if I make the rules?
Yeah, but the rules are already set. Even within the Sonozaki family, there's less than a handful of people who are allowed in. And I'm quite sure we are not included.
Power makes right.
And with a handful, I can imagine it's only Oreo and her father. As in Mion and Shion's father.
Meh.
I really think those are the only people. By then I was certain. The people in this room were true believers in Oyashiro-sama, just like the hag. They wouldn't hesitate to murder whoever made Oyashiro-sama angry on his behalf. Even if they didn't carry out the killing themselves, they would pretend they didn't see anything. Yes, not even if my head was cut off right in front of them.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Everyone here would act in collusion and say I never attended today. If they all testified that they waited and I didn't show, I'd be demoned away. It would be far too easy for them to erase someone and have them disappear. There was no mistake. The people linking the hag and the curse were definitely here at this meeting. I continued speaking. I was Mion Sonozaki. I was on the side responsible for the curse. Therefore, at that moment, I didn't need to worry about anything.
Feel the power, girl.
Nobody could tell the difference between Mion and me. That's what would keep me safe. Please, be silent.
Hey! Quiet down!
Uncle Kimiyoshi helped me to quiet everyone, but his tone was violent. He really scared me. Everyone gradually became silent. In fact, it was 4 people who snuck into the storehouse. 2 more remain. People once more became restless upon hearing that, but Uncle Kimiyoshi yelled at them again and they settled down. Tomitake-san and Takano-san were old enough to be made responsible for their own poor judgment. As a result, the curse of Oyashiro-sama fell upon them immediately, but the other 2 were simply children. The curse has yet to fall upon them, but there will be some kind of punishment. Everyone stayed quiet that time. Do you think she's gonna say it was Shion?
Yeah, and then Shion disappears, and then she doesn't have to worry about being mistaken for the other.
Yeah, fair.
She can only be Mion logically in their eyes.
And fully takes over as Mion, yeah. They had all turned genuinely pale, trying to not miss a word I said. After all, they were all thinking that the kids I mentioned could be their own relatives, or even grandchildren. They wanted to know who they were to put their minds at ease. The other 2 who snuck into the ritual storehouse were Shion Sonozaki and Keiichi Maebara. I could feel the air getting drier. It was so dry it almost felt like it was going to start making a crackling noise. Shion Sonozaki has already... I couldn't even hear the old people breathe. I took a peek at Uncle Kimiyoshi who was sitting next to me. He'd adored Shion as if she were his own granddaughter, but she had been demoned away. I wanted to see how distressed and sad he'd look.
Not at all, he's gonna cheer because she did it, so that's her punishment.
Ultimate betrayal. And when I saw his face... That looks sad.
Because he doesn't have any other character art, I think.
No. This is different from his other one, I think.
Let's get there.
He's even looking down. I felt a sensation on my back, as if my skin itself was making a cracking noise. He didn't even have an expression on his face. Uncle Kimiyoshi adored me. I loved him, and I thought he loved me too. That was why I expected him to be saddened after learning that I met with such a cruel fate. What was I thinking? The memory of his warm smile shattered inside of me.
That's enough to kill him, right? So he's next.
There was no way of describing the fear I experienced in that moment in mere words. He had suddenly changed into someone I didn't even recognize. Uncle Kimiyoshi noticed me looking at him and spoke.
What about Keiichi Maebara?
Not yet. I had to take a deep breath to regain my composure. All 4 who snuck into the ritual storehouse will suffer the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Keiichi Maebara is no exception. Chilling looks, cruel looks, emotionless looks, shrewd looks, and the looks of people who were about to snap. I could feel the demons chewing my words while they stared at me with their sharp eyes. I could see some of them sticking their snake-like tongues in and out. I could see flames in some of their eyes. They were memorizing the names of the intruder the curse had yet to fall upon. And so, the meeting went on. We were told not to tell the police too much, to report what they asked us, and to hold another meeting whenever something of significance happened. If something unexpected took place, we were to get in touch with either the head of the Kimiyoshi family or the head of the Sonozaki family for instructions on what to do. With those closing remarks, the meeting was over.
Still trying to figure out what happened in chapter 1 that made Keiichi a target. I still don't get what he did.
Same. It was already getting dark outside. Being in a valley surrounded by mountains, once the sun went down in Hinamizawa, it got dark quickly. Even if it was hot during the day, it cooled down quickly at night. The elderly people said goodbye to each other and left on their bicycles, on their motorcycles, or in their cars. Uncle Kimiyoshi waved them goodbye and started to head home himself. I called out to him. Kimiyoshi-san, do you have plans after this?
Oh, here we go.
I called him Kimiyoshi-san instead of Uncle Kimiyoshi. He stopped.
No, I don't have anything planned.
Can you stop by my house?
Does Oryo-san want to see me?
Yes. She wants to talk to you about something in person.
Okay, I'll stop by.
This is gonna be pure revenge.
Yep. Oh, we're going fast.
Skip, should we save here?
No, I want to know what happens. We're finally getting answers.
It's gonna be a longer bit.
No, it isn't. This is gonna be super short. He comes into the house, when I kill him, when I dump his body, and Mion sees. I mean, she's
super short. When are these things super short?
You can't kill more people.
When are these things super short?
I want to see how this plays out.
Fine, a few more minutes. Uncle Kimiyoshi arrived at the Sonozaki house. He often came to the house to have secret meetings with the hack, so he wasn't suspicious at all. I invited Uncle Kimiyoshi into the living room.
He's gonna go in there when she's gonna tell him, oh yeah, I'll get Oreo, and then she's gonna go bzzzt. Next thing, he's waking up getting tortured.
Yeah. I served him a cup of tea and told him I was going to fetch the hack. I left the room and killed some time down the hallway. Granny will be here after she gets dressed. She might take a little while.
No, that's okay. I'll just wait.
What else are you gonna do?
Leave.
He relaxed as he sipped his cup of tea. I sat next to him. I think she wants to talk to you about Shion. I mentioned my name and watched for his reaction. He looked so grim. I couldn't even tell if he heard me. I decided to continue speaking until he reacted in some way. You remember the incident from last year with Shion, yes? She became friendly with people of the Hojo family.
She was forgiven after ripping out her nails, wasn't she?
Yes. 3 nails. He folded his arms and thought for a while.
Where is Shion-chan now?
In the basement.
How's she doing?
Uncle Kimiyoshi sounded worried. When I heard that, I felt relief that he was on my side. His anger in the assembly hall was just an act. She has been crying.
Mion-chan, tell me, what is Oryo-san going to do with Shion-chan?
She hasn't told me any details. As you know, Granny becomes awfully quiet when she's truly furious.
Going into the ritual storehouse, huh? Furthermore, it's her own granddaughter. That's a tough decision to make.
Uncle Kimiyoshi thought that the hack must be unsure of what to do with Shion. What do you think? What do you think will happen to Shion?
Well, I'm sure it'll be far more than just 3 nails this time. Knowing how Oryo-san is, she won't hold back just because it's her granddaughter. Actually, she might be even more harsh, especially because they're related.
Yes, she did go into the ritual storehouse. That's not something that can be forgiven so easily.
Indeed. It's sacred after all.
But in a way, maybe it's not fair to Shion. She has been away from Hinamizawa, as you know. I'm sure she knew she wasn't supposed to trespass in the ritual storehouse, but maybe she didn't know how forbidden it was.
Yeah, that's true. Poor Shion-chan.
Other than the tattoo on my back, how would you tell the difference between Shion and me? There isn't one. There's no point in distinguishing between Mion and Shion in the first place. Twins are proof of bad luck. One should be eliminated as soon as they are born. Such is the family precept. The hack actually put her hands around my neck right after I came out of the womb. That's how the story went, at least. In the end, the hag didn't kill me, but instead pretended I didn't exist. She forced herself to call one of us Mion and the other Shion. She adored Mion and hated Shion. My sister and I never understood why we had to go through that. We didn't care who was Mion or Shion. So one day we came up with an idea.
Here we go.
Never understood that. You could have given her up to adoption, changed the name, etc. Yeah, but then she's still out there.
But it doesn't change the fact that you received the bad omen of getting twins.
And there's always a what-if risk.
Logically, I completely agree with you. But these people, I hope people like this don't exist, but I've seen enough bad news that I know people like this exist. It happened, and they know. So there's nothing you can do to undo that issue for them.
And you're basically seen as an abomination. Why drop her off at an orphanage?
Yeah. Why put that burden on other people? She shouldn't exist to begin with. It's like, I think to this day, even in some places in the world, where it's like, oh, if you give birth to a daughter, you will kill her because girls aren't worth anything. You must give birth to a son. Or the other way around, depending on the culture. It's disgusting.
Yeah, but in this case, you also have to risk if the other twin would find out. They can have a claim. There can be drama.
Yeah. Well, use all of your Sonozaki wealth and give her up for adoption in Canada.
Never understood why twins are a bad omen. If I recall, that started in the royal families. And then it makes a little bit more sense. Because there, the firstborn usually has all the power. With the secondborn that you cannot differentiate.
Yeah, because only one can inherit the family's power.
And with a twin, that can will probably end up very badly as well. There will be a power struggle.
Imagine if you just split everything and you get half, you get half.
That's not how things work.
I know, that would make sense.
But I'm quite sure it started in the royal family direction. And then the idea behind it makes sense for the times.
I don't like it.
I mean, no, you don't need to like it. We decided to share the joy Mion experienced and the sadness Shion experienced. We often switched places. We were both Mion, and at the same time, we were both Shion. Adults around us tried to put different clothes on us, or style our hair differently so they could tell us apart. It was nonsense. No matter what they did to us, all we had to do was switch places and nobody could tell us apart. Finally, they decided that we switched places because we were always together. And on that day, Shion got to go to an amusement park.
And Mion got the tattoo.
Since then, we've been separated.
Mion-chan.
I can't even imagine what will happen to Shion. Whatever it is Granny decides to do, I'm not in a position to say anything about it. She doesn't listen to her relatives.
You're right. That's something Oreo-san needs to work on.
I don't think Oreo would have still worked on anything because I'm right, I'm the Empress, fuck you.
If Shion wasn't Shion Sonozaki, she would have been dead a long time ago. I can't even begin to imagine what kind of punishment might be equal to death. Even if she isn't killed, she'll probably never see the light of day again. In other words, she'll be demoned away.
Mion-chan. Does Shion-chan regret what she has done?
Seems only a problem with monarchies. Yeah, it makes sense, because in a poor family you would need all the hands. And what are you gonna fight over?
Yeah, nothing. Chores?
There's no need to get rid of a twin. Yes. In response, Uncle Kimiyoshi tapped my shoulder and then slapped his own chest. He smiled reliably.
Don't worry! If Shion-chan feels bad about what she has done, she won't be demoned away. Leave it to me.
Really?
I'm sure Oreo-san will be furious to hear me say anything, but I won't give up. I'll explain to her that Shion-chan regrets what she has done and I'll beg for her forgiveness.
Tears began to fall from my eyes. I knew it. Uncle Kimiyoshi was my ally after all. He said he would forgive Shion. He was my ally. I was so very happy. Are you sure? Are you sure she won't be demoned away like Satoshi Hojo-kun was last year? Uncle Kimiyoshi smiled reliably again and told me.
He was a bred of a Hojo family. This is Shion-chan of the Sonozaki family we're talking about here. Of course she'll be forgiven.
And that is why he's now still going to die.
Eat my taser.
Huh? A brat of the Hojo family? Are you talking about Satoshi-kun? Last year's victim?
Those Hojo people! They were traitors who tried to sell out the whole village. Of course he got demoned away. He was a Hojo after all.
Huh? Huh? Huh?
The Hojo people should all be cursed. Only people like them get demoned away. Shion-chan will be okay. It won't happen to someone like her.
Uncle? Didn't Shion take care of that for Satoshi-kun last year? Wasn't he supposed to be forgiven?
Take care of that? What do you mean?
Remember? 3 nails? She removed 3 of her nails. Kasai-san, Uncle Yoshiro, and then Satoshi-kun. 3 people.
This was never the punishment for that.
She removed 3 nails for 3 people.
So that was why it was 3 nails, huh?
What? But this makes it clear that she just figured that out herself. Wasn't that the significance of those 3 nails?
Yeah, you're right. There were 3 people involved, hence the 3 nails. I heard that too. But
what?
Kasai-san, Yoshiro-san, and Shion-chan. That makes 3.
What? What? Huh? What? I endured excruciating pain. The first one was my left pinky, then the right finger. Oh, I was wondering. Then the ring finger, and then the middle finger. People held me down, so I couldn't move. But I endured. I had to endure 3 nails. I didn't know which nail was for Satoshi-kun. If my middle finger was for Satoshi-kun, I'd have to endure until the middle finger was done so that Satoshi-kun would be forgiven. That was why I endured. Even Mion said afterwards.
She didn't.
Everything was forgiven. Huh?
Not like that.
Mion? Didn't you say Satoshi-kun was forgiven?
Never.
Didn't you? That's what I heard. I think that's what I heard. Or did I? I felt the air move. There shouldn't have been a breeze in that room, but I felt it anyway. The cool air stroked the back of my neck. That was when my true self stood right behind me and nodded. Although there was no wind, my hair billowed. The burning wickedness buried deep inside my eyes became visible. Why do you think Satoshi Hojo-kun got demoned away? Satoshi-kun's parents did in fact try to sell out the village. They deserved the curse of Oyashiro-sama. But Satoshi-kun was simply their son. What has he done?
Mion-chan.
I'm asking you what kind of crime Satoshi-kun committed. You said earlier that he deserved to be demoned away because he was born of the Hojo family. What has he done to deserve being demoned away? Kimiyoshi didn't know what to say to the sudden question. He seemed dismayed. I didn't hear her say it, but I know. It was Oryo Sonozaki's decision. She decided that the curse of Oyashiro-sama would fall upon all the Hojos.
Wait, Mion-chan. That's not true.
Didn't she decide that?
No, she didn't. The curse of Oyashiro-sama falling upon the Hojo family. I do remember talking about something like that, but we never decided that. Nobody did.
Then why did you say because he was one of the Hojos earlier?
Sorry, Mion-chan. That was... I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry.
That's just it. Anything that happened to the Hojo family is the curse. As long as someone has the Hojo name, nobody cares about what happens to that person. That idea has spread like a virus amongst all the villagers. It didn't matter if Satoshi-kun did anything or not, because he was a Hojo. He was filthy. That infection of an idea is the entire problem. And you all believed in that idea. You couldn't even think straight anymore. I can't forgive you. I can't let someone like you exist. People like you cornered him. What has he done? He hasn't done anything. He was a Hojo, that's all. What kind of crime is that? Why did the curse fall upon him? What kind of crime has he committed? Oh, that wasn't me. I wonder Kimiyoshi scream?
I figure she pressed 4 times because at least double tap.
Probably, yeah. And she
snapped period.
Yep. Kimiyoshi's upper body bent backwards and fell onto the floor. That was that. I put my stun gun back in my pocket.
That stupid phone. This seems like a good moment to save for the night. Don't you agree, Tifa?
Sure.
Way better than when you suggest. No, Psycho, I know there's no emote, but I think what you mean is tasty. Thank you for teaching us that earlier, Tifa. My stomach is upset now from this. No! Tasing old people is fun. Only in video games. Only in video games.
Can't believe that's not legal to do. Can't do anything anymore nowadays.
Let's scrape together all the not actual katana money we have. And start a Kickstarter, get together a bunch of people and make a virtual reality game where you get to exclusively tase old people. Psycho would buy it. I think.
A bit like, what was the no game? Just say no?
Say no more.
Oh, say no more, yeah, but then with...
No, not say no more. Say no more.
Well, say no more, but then with old people and tasers.
But VR. You actually have to go to bzzzt, bzzzt. Look, this is like a 3D experience. Bzzzt. Like that.
Let us know when the game comes out.
Also, it's a shame you all don't play with voice acting because that particular scene has really good vocal performances from Shion's voice actors.
Yeah, considering maybe at some point still going through it with voice acting offline.
Off stream.
Off stream, yeah. But for streaming itself, I don't think that would really work for us.
Yugi, you have a perfect point, and everybody that wants to experience this themselves has to buy the game and play it themselves, even if they watch us play through it.
But from the little bits of pieces that we have actually replayed, that was really good.
Yeah, no notes. I mean, I don't speak Japanese. I cannot tell you if they did it perfectly, but it sounded perfect to my ears. So I'll buy it.
Well, it's not about whether they did it perfectly, it's about the emotion.
And that they did perfectly.
Yeah, but you were like, oh, I can't tell if they did it perfectly because I don't speak Japanese. That's not really the point.
They did it perfectly.
Yeah, we will absolutely check it out.
So, why did I taser with this end when it's actually a USB charger? I could have just tased her with a plug. Bzzzt. The emotions come across really well. Didn't we do that during one of Mion's or Shion's breakdowns too?
Yeah, but only like bits and pieces, not entire scenes. Just like certain lines.
Mion's voice actor is one of my favorite voice actors in any series. Her Japanese VA is insanely skilled. I'll believe it.
Yeah, I feel in general Japanese voice actors are somehow on a different level if you compare them just in range, voices, emotions. Maybe I'm biased, but
I think as a German, I am biased, and I'm fully aware I'm biased because Germany dubs all of their programming, even when the original production doesn't give them the individual audio channels. Then they just dub over the English. Like Hell's Kitchen, the Gordon Ramsay things.
And then you hear English in the background while they talk over it in German.
Yes.
It's the stupidest thing.
They don't remove the English audio, they just talk over it. It's weird, but hey, it works, because the average German person watches stuff in German.
Even though take out
But you can only do that if you have the audio streams. If all you're given is technical stuff. If all you receive is the video file where you cannot just take out the words being spoken, you're screwed.
That's what subtitles are for, but...
Yeah, but I don't want to read, I want to watch the television. Not the point. So in Germany everything is dubbed. Ever since, as far as I can remember as a kid, everything is dubbed. Unless you go to like one of those artsy movies and then you have to read subtitles, but who does that, right? Reading. But for some reason, in Germany, we only, for the longest time, had like 6 voice actors.
Isn't that still the case?
You go to 10 different Hollywood movies, you will hear the same 5 voice actors. Thankfully, with things like anime in particular becoming more mainstream, I want to say even the German industry realized we need more voices, so that's kind of expanded.
Now we have 10.
But a bit more. But still in Germany, for the longest time, especially with like big things, with like animated movies, you have this thing where we have a dubbing industry. Like there are voice actors, but nobody cares about them. They're just the voice of that character. Nobody cares, not the mainstream crowds. So instead, whenever you have like a big animated movie like Ice Age or something, they get comedians or they get other celebrities or other actors to voice the characters. Instead of giving the voice acting jobs to people who voice act for a living, they take, hey, random celebrity who has had their 15 minutes of fame recently, would you like to voice this main character?
But especially in movies and stuff, or like bigger series, that's also marketing.
Yes.
Because it will pull people in.
Not all of them do bad jobs. I mean, they usually try their hardest and it doesn't become a horrible thing to take in as an experience afterwards. But I like the idea of you have so many different types of media and therefore you have so many different types of people voicing them. Which I like. So why not do that?
I think there's also a bit of a culture difference. Like in Japan, that's a bigger thing, but there a voice actor is also more like I'm gonna call it celebrity. Like people know the voice actors. Like in most of the series I watch in English, I have no clue who is behind the voice.
I know a couple names of English voice actors simply because they also keep happening, or they have voices that I distinctively remember.
Especially in German, I recognize them because of the 5
Ken Clark. If you hear Ken Clark, you'll know it's Ken Clark, and I love his voice. And like, I have bought games specifically because Ken Clark has voiced characters in them. Resonance of Fate.
Predict a lot more use of AI voices for better or worse. Yeah, it's cheaper.
Psycho, would you know it? Our everybody's favorite company, Amazon, for Amazon Prime Video, just a little while ago actually, has taken a Polish TV show and then used AI to dub it over in other languages. And it was so bad as an end product that so many people complained that they pulled it again. But Amazon has, I think it was Amazon, yeah, I think Amazon has already announced that they're gonna use exactly that for anime. So,
instead,
there you go.
I would spend money on if they finally put stuff in there with English subtitles. I would like to watch it on Amazon, but it's all German dub, German sub.
The idea,
or no sub, just German dub.
The idea that some people in expensive suits are willing to spend any amount of money and resources to do anything but pay another living being a livable wage is disgusting to me at my core. I don't care.
It's about saving money, it's not about paying people a livable wage.
Yeah, the poor shareholders, otherwise they can't fully heat every single day of every year their jacuzzi out in fucking Siberia.
Why do you think they got rich in the first place? Yeah? But yeah, we'll see it more and more. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Let me, in the meantime...
I don't hate AI if it's being used in cases where I think it's a good idea. Like, I am a huge proponent and big fan of AI in medicine, like for cancer detection, for example. There have been multiple cases where it's been shown that an AI trained to look at X-rays, for example, can predict cancer better or more reliably and earlier than human doctors, statistically. And I think that's something we should look into. That's something that should happen all the time. Stuff like this. But if you have the option, hey, I can give this guy, I know he's starting out, I don't know what the rates for voice actors are. But you know, if a person who doesn't have any jobs, here, I'll give you $500, you voice this character. Let's say $15 an hour. Do the math yourself. 30 hours, 30 something hours, there you go. Done. Why not? Why not do that? If there's one thing most people have, it's a voice.
Yeah, but you need to keep paying him. With an AI, you put the money in once. And then at some point, he'll want more money.
Yeah, and then me as a rich person, eventually I go through the inner cities or I go to a mall and I go, this mall is getting really ugly because all the stores are closing. Why are all the stores closing? Because the stores can't pay the rent anymore. Because nobody buys at the stores anymore. Because nobody has money anymore. Because I have all the money.
Well, those are issues you can think about and solve starting tomorrow, because I do need to head to bed now.
First of all, weak. Second of all, no, I thought about this when I voted in the German elections a few weeks ago. Been there, done that. We EP. Plus that. Unfortunately, sleep beckons. And we need some.
Need a lot.
You more than me.
I'm behind 3 days of sleep.
Yeah, Tifa for some reason decided that she hates all of you, so she would sleep badly the last couple days. I can't think of any other reason why she would be doing this.
It's almost freezing again, yeah. It's been like summer the past 2 days.
That's why I made Tifa go for a longer walk with me today. That's why we spent most of the day outside yesterday.
Which is what made me more sleepy.
The weather was beautiful here in Germany the last week or so, and now we're going back to freezing. Yes!
20 degrees difference in a day. Yes.
Fuck me sideways with a sledgehammer.
It is insane. And then we wonder why everyone is sick.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's also great for your immune system.
I mean, these things usually don't bother me personally.
Because you have a good immune system.
3/4 of the company I feel like is sick at the moment.
Yeah. I don't know where to put my jacket on my body.
Yes. And in the morning it's still kind of cold, so you take your jacket along and then like 10 minutes later you are sweating piglets.
That's a Dutch thing to say. Yeah,
no, but it works.
I want to make clear from the beginning that what I'm going to say is a joke. You don't need a jacket if when it's cold in the morning you just cycle hard enough. Just cycle yourself long. Please don't do that.
Well.
Please dress appropriately for the weather. It's important and it's good for you.
See, but I think tomorrow...
It's Monday.
We don't have freezing temperatures yet. Or does that start tomorrow already?
Yes, it does.
Yeah? Oh,
yeah, I think so. I haven't checked the weather report
today. Fuck me sideways.
Then I can call in sick for pneumonia. You don't do that. Call in sick when you're sick, but don't get it because of something stupid I said. Look out for yourself. Get your vitamins, get some exercise, try to live as healthy as you can, do your thing. There you go.
But with some luck, afterwards, spring is there.
That would be nice.
That would be very nice. I look forward to spring.
I predict...
Then I'll hate on summer.
I predict spring won't happen until the second week of May. In Germany, at least. Because that's a recurring theme in our lives. We always take a 2-week vacation in the end of April, beginning of May. And we leave here and the trees are slowly getting green. And when we come back, poof, everything is green. So, second week of May. Write it down. That's how
we shall see. We shall see. But what I see now is the end of stream button.
Wow. Thank you all for Higurashing with us, tasing some old people because they freaking deserve it. We're back on Tuesday with Shenmue 2, even if Tifa doesn't want to.